We are back yet again with another episode of the panel. I'm here with your favorite panelists, Chilltown Hoops, Mars Blackman, and last night Team USA played against Team Canada, and it was a fairly good game. It was entertaining. I'm gonna let you guys talk to me about this though. What are some of your biggest takeaways from this matchup? It was the first exhibition game for both teams.
Mm-hmm. The thing that I would take away from it the most, when you put a group together, more times than not, there's going to be some sloppiness. I mean, they just opened up training camp like 4 days ago, so of course there's going to be some unfamiliarity, and guys are going to be stepping over each other and things like that. So that's going to happen early. But the thing that I took away from it the most was the effort. It was there right from the beginning. The effort on defense, the effort on offense, the energy, how hard those guys were playing. And there's times when you see a team like Cleveland, like I was about to say Cleveland, I'm sorry. There's time when you see a team like Canada who comes out with energy like that, and it isn't matched. But it was matched by the USA team. It was matched on the defensive end. It was matched on the offensive end. I thought they did a good job in that more than anything. Yeah, they didn't take care of the basketball early. They were turning the basketball over. And again, I feel like a lot of times when you got new guys, that's going to happen, right? We're not familiar with each other. We haven't played with each other. So I don't know where your spots are. You don't know where mine are. And I feel like early on, that's what was going on. Jayson Tatum trying to get the ball up to Anthony Edwards being aggressive offensively. You find guys kind of overpassing from time to time, and it happens. But I felt like last night, with the energy that they had, gang rebounding, with the energy that they had on the glass and playing defense more than anything, they really turned it around. So I was impressed with them, and I feel like as time goes on, I feel like this is just gonna get better.
What's up, Swiper?
What's popping? What's up, black people? Shout out to y'all. What's up, Player Choice? Good to see y'all.
Yes,
What's going on? What's up, Mars?
Mars, takeaways from last night? I know it was like 4:30 a.m. where you were at.
I really like Bam at the 4.
What you like Bam at the 4, or you like Bam at the 4 next to AD at the 5?
Yeah, that combination,
Okay.
that second unit.
I know somewhere Bam should be playing the 4 up, Mars.
Where, Swiper?
Look, I'm not here to push agendas. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's exactly
go ahead,
what it
Mars.
sounds
Finish
like.
your point. Finish your point, Mars.
That second unit, like and Hallie, AD, Bam, and Jayson Tatum. I really like what I've seen from them defensively. Bam said, I think, that he's excited to play next to AD and Joel because he's never been able to play the 4. And that lineup was very, very, very good for Team USA last night. I was late tuning into the game. I tuned in and it was 11-1. I was like, oh, damn, interesting. So I don't know how they went down 11-1. I'm assuming it was turnover things. But I think there's clear, like, just out of rhythm and not fully aware of, like, where everyone is going to be at all times. But that will come with just time and reps. But from a talent perspective, you can see how hard it's going to be to stop Team USA. Like, they just have a bunch of guys who can create advantages and then play off advantages. So even if you stop the first attack and then there's a second attack and then we're swinging to the other side. Oh, look, it's Jayson Tatum with a clear side isolation. It's very, very hard to keep up with them. I think Canada did a solid job. Jamal Murray wasn't very good. But I like Dylan Brooks was aggressive as expected. Shea played solid. Wasn't huge on RJ Barrett's play. But I think Team USA for a first game, that's not as good as you could hope, but they were pretty good. And if this is the worst they're gonna be, it's kind of shaky for the other countries at the Olympics, in my opinion.
What's your takeaway, Swiper? Did you like what you seen last night? You don't seem to be too impressed, Swiper.
You know what? They're minus 390 to win the whole thing. Yeah, it felt like Appalachian State versus Michigan in the first quarter. A lot of energy, but eventually the depth's going to rule out. And again, if you're not familiar with college football, this is the way it works. You see an FCS team, one AA team playing versus one of these powerhouses. It's 21-14 in the first half, and everybody's shocked. But then on the other side of this, what happens is the depth wins out. Again, chill. When the U.S. when the old heads got a little tired, they needed some second wind. The U.S. put Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, Jayson Tatum, and Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo in the game.
That's a damn good second
unit, man. And then Drew was in the lineup with Tatum, Bam, and AD with Hallie. Like,
which, by the way, I'm glad you brought that up, Swiper, because I actually saw Halliburton commit on the defensive side of the ball last night, and watching him play defense.
4 all-world defenders next to him, I'm sure.
It does. It looks a lot different. 100% it does. But, he got R.J. Barrett in front of him, who's a damn good offensive player, who's a damn good scorer. He's got R.J. Barrett in front of him, and he's actually getting tie-ups. And I'm thinking to myself, well, how come I don't get this kind of effort on defense on a Tuesday in the NBA? What's going on with you? And I understand that it's a little bit different.
He did run straight to the basket with no wiggle at all. He just, tried to bull rush him.
And more times than not, it works with him. But to your point, when you're talking about having that kind of second unit with Bam and Tyrese Halliburton, I mean, damn. If that's what we're gonna get with our second unit, that could be your first unit, and you can still roll with that. But
you can still win.
Yes, you can definitely win with that. I know that we're talking about Canada, who I think could very well medal in these Olympics, but this USA team, the effort is what I was looking for more than anything. They're
just so big. I think that was the other thing. The amount of length that they have on the court. Whereas Canada, and I told the homies this the other day, I thought RJ Barrett was going to be at the 4, and they're like, well, who's coming off the bench? That's just the way they're structured. Like, it's going to be Maul, SGA, Dylan Brooks. They have to play, but then Lou Dort can't play in that lineup because he's too small. RJ Barrett has to play the 4. Kelly Olynyk, and then they just don't have the bigs. Like, none of their bigs are impressive for Canada. They're all role players, like truly defined role players. And then off the bench, I mean, you're asking to kill Alexander Walker to get buckets.
No,
that's just not what he does. That's not his skill set. I mean, obviously when he was younger and in different system, then sure, but Jamal has to be better for them to win anything. And Jamal, he's always been this player. It's just like, well,
wait a minute, Swipe. When you talk about Nickeil Alexander-Walker getting buckets off the bench, I mean, he does do that. He did that in Minnesota, but he's more of a catch and shoot guy. He's not a one-on-one guy.
No, he's not a creator at all.
No, he's not a one-on-one guy. He's definitely more of people creating shots for him. So he could get buckets, and I feel like he's got guys on the Canadian team like Jamal Murray, like Shea, that could create baskets for him. But I think to your point, I think you mean, and straighten me out if I'm wrong, the idea that you asking him to get buckets to keep up with that second unit you was talking about with Anthony Davis. I mean, not Anthony Davis, I'm sorry, with Tyrese Halliburton and Bam and Jake, guys like that. I mean, that's going to be really tough. That's going to be really tough.
It's a lot of defense you got to play against, and then it's an exhibition game, so it really doesn't mean much of anything. I think Jamal will be better. That's what he does. He's going to have a stinker in there, and then he's going to play amazing. That's who he is, who he's always been. I've watched almost every dribble since 2016. SGA looked good, but yeah, the U.S. is just they're a machine, and they really don't have any weaknesses. I think for me, the first thing that I noticed was Drew Holiday showing everybody why he was added to this team. Immediately, he was so great defensively across the board. Whether it was post defense, when he got some of the guards or wings on him, his ability in transition, like when you're trying to get around that screen, him getting his hip up on you, that way you can't get around him, his physicality. I mean, he really, I think, solidified early. And then Hallie, too. Everybody's like, Kyrie should be on this team over Hallie. Well, listen, respect. Tyrese Halliburton should say better offensive player than Kyrie Irving. He's a much better passer, much better playmaker, and Hallie just is able to get everybody involved, and he's not looking for his shot. He just looked really good.
Don't say that too loud, man.
But then Booker was great too, y'all. Booker is an off-ball shooter. Great. Look, he looks really good. Like, I really like his fit on this team. Embiid, I think the thing with Embiid is he's so used to playing that face-up, heavy ISO ball, that he's in a situation now where he's going to have to really learn how to play a connected style of basketball and not stop the ball. He's a ball stopper, but so is Luka.
100%.
Luka's a ball stopper.
Yep.
Giannis is a ball stopper. I mean, that's what they are. They're high possession, high usage players. And then when you're in a system like this and you got to find a way to figure out how to play with other people, AD just looks more natural at that. Because AD does that with LeBron, Reeves, D'Lo, with Rui Hachimura. And then obviously he did it with Drew Holiday and Rondo and them. Like, he's just been doing it longer. Embiid, outside of Ben Simmons, is like the most dynamic passer he's been around. So, I mean, we'll see, man. Or Harden, obviously, but to
your point, you were talking about Team USA. I mean, it's an exhibition and doesn't really mean much. Well, does it though, Swiper? Because if they lose that game yesterday, I mean, what's the narrative going on today? If they end up losing to Canada, maybe this team isn't who we thought they were. Maybe somebody else has a really good shot to win the gold medal. I mean, don't get me wrong. With the talent that was, put together on this crew, they're expected to win every game. So is it just because they win that it doesn't really mean anything? Because if they lost yesterday, it would have been a pretty big deal. It would have been something that we've been talking about at length and almost to nauseum. You know what? Maybe James ain't what we think he is. KD shouldn't be on this team. And Anthony Davis is soft. Bam can't get this done. And this team was put together the wrong way. So the idea, I'm not sure if I agree with you, Swiper, that it doesn't really mean much, because when you're talking about America and putting this kind of talent together, them losing, even if it's only in an exhibition, it's a representation of what's to come. I mean, the Olympics start in a couple of weeks, and if you lose an exhibition game, I mean, I think that puts blood in the water, and the sharks come. Even though that doesn't mean that you're going to lose the gold medal, but it still does something like that.
Yeah, but that's like an agenda stuff, though, like narrative. Like, but real life basketball, unless somebody got hurt, it would just win them. I think for them, they're trying to find their cohesiveness. And you saw it like early on. They just didn't know how to play together. They were still learning, what do we need to do? How do we move together? But once Steph hit that shot on that pump fake, and then they started running in transition, they got that second unit in there. And again, Anthony Edwards was a part of the catalyst. Like that layup he had when he drove to the rim, that he started on one side.
The first one?
Yeah, finished on the other. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it basically came in and performed CPR. The first unit gave us nothing in that first, 6 minutes?
Yes.
Ant came in and said, all right, like, tied his shoes a little tighter. He said, all right, watch, I'm going to show you guys who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and revive everything. And he came, got that layup the Swiper was talking about, and turned up for the rest of the first quarter. And that whole unit, Bam and AD defensively. Hallie came and had some good passes, but Hallie didn't really start doing anything to the second quarter. It was JT. It was Ant and JT.
Mm-hmm.
They both came in and said, you know what? We was just playing just last week.
Yeah,
we ain't taking no time off. The rest of y'all might be a little rusty. Y'all ain't really played since May, April, but we was just getting buckets just a couple weeks ago. So I'm ready to go.
And you bring that up too, Ron, about Anthony Edwards and Jayson Tatum. The interesting thing is, like, Canada got a good team. I mean, they aren't as big as USA's team is, but they got a damn good team.
Chill, Canada got a bomb squad.
Yes, and the fact that they played against America, it makes them look inferior. Like when you see them against the other teams in the world, they're going to look much better. It's just the fact that they went up against America, so it made them look like they were inferior just to America. But to the other teams in the country, other teams in the world, I don't think that they're going to look like that. I think they're going to look a lot better. I think that they could get a medal in these Olympics. I do.
Well, at one point, Canada looked like the better team in that first quarter. I mean, they obviously they went up 11-1, and they finished the first quarter with the lead.
Mm-hmm.
But like when they had their starters out there, they looked more cohesive. They were attacking more. They were playing good defense.
Yep.
Canada looked solid. But I also do want to say, too, Canada, they didn't necessarily throw the towel in, but when it's an exhibition game, you want to get all your players to play. So in the fourth quarter, they went deep into their bench. Keep in mind, the USA only had 10 players, or 10 active players, and then they had some other guys on the select team and whatnot. But Canada didn't play SGA the whole fourth quarter. They didn't play Jamal Murray the whole fourth quarter. So if these guys play, maybe
it's going to be more of a battle for sure.
Yeah.
But with all due respect, once Anthony Edwards rightfully gets in the starting lineup with Kevin Durant, LeBron, and then AD or Embiid, whichever one, with Steph Curry, It's going to be curtains. I mean, it's just going to be curtains.
It does go back to your point, Swiper. It's very much like Florida State going up against Troy in the first quarter. It's 10-0, and everybody's like, can Troy beat these dudes? What's going on? No, that's not what's going to happen. Then the second unit is going to come in, and your second unit is not even close to as good as Florida State.
Yeah, I got all NBA players and MVP candidates in my second
right. Unit. And your second unit is the third guy on the high school team.
He's a second unit player on a mid team in the NBA. Like Nikhil, great. I love Nikhil. Everybody knows I have an infatuation with Nikhil. He's a perfect two guard, combo guard in this league. Mm-hmm. But he's backing up Mike Conley. Like I ain't got Mike Conley. My worst player on this roster got All-Star votes last November in Derek White.
I did not know that Nembhard was Canadian. I did not know.
Yes.
I did not know that Nembhard. I'm sorry. I'm late. I might be late to the party, but I did not know he was Canadian. I did know that Dwight Powell was Canadian, though, and that's their starting five man. So who's playing behind him? Who is playing behind him as opposed to
Kabengele?
That's what I'm talking about, Mars. And who's playing behind Anthony Davis, right? As opposed to who's playing behind Dwight Powell, who, by the way, Mars, you talked about Bam at the 4. Man, when they move Bam to that 4, and that this kid Ware in Miami, who I think is going to be a player, they can move Bam to that 4. How much better he's going to be. I've always wanted Bam at the 4. I've always wanted Bam at the 4. I've always thought that he's a better 4 than he is a 5. The more I watch Bam, and you guys think that I'm crazy, and I've said this to you in the past, Bam to me is Buck Williams except a better athlete. That's who I look at as Buck Williams except a better athlete when I watch him. And with him now being able to play the 4, I think that expands Miami's offense, especially playing the 4 full time. It's very much like what Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson Jr. I feel like it's going to be able to expand his game even more.
Well, he took a 3 immediately in that game, so I hope he keeps doing that. Like
he took 2 in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean the Canada team, they got enough players. They got enough players, and they got Shea and Jamal who could either one go off for 30-something anytime. Dylan Brooks, who's just not afraid of any of these dudes on this team. Like this Canada team, right? It's got to be one of them things, right day. They could pop Team USA. Like it's not to me. It's just not one of them far-fetched things. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like they got NBA talent. They got guys. I do agree with y'all that they're small. I mean that's obvious. I can't obviously can't say that they're not. But like this is
are they small though, or just not it? Because there's a difference between being small and not being big as the other team. Those two things aren't the same.
Well, if I'm not as big as you, I'm small.
I'm just smaller than you. Does that mean I'm smaller than everybody else though? I mean, because I feel like they do I do feel like they got a bigger team. Like with America, I mean, we got nothing but bigs. Nothing but big guys.
Either way you put it, they're not big. They're not as big as us.
Right.
But if they, I still think that they got enough talent between Shea and Jamal to score. Like they're going to be a scoring threat. I think if Zach Edey was playing, it would be a little different. You know what I mean? But obviously, Team USA is better talent wise. But it's gonna that team is good enough to where if you put the right game plan together, you know what I mean, and hit the right shots at the right time. I think we play them 10 times. Canada might win 2 or 3. So it's just got to be that right situation.
Chill. I think we letting that third quarter really like dictate everything on how we feel about the game. That was a close ass first half. Team Canada gave us everything they had, and really they didn't though, because looking at the just overall looking at the game, Team Canada didn't shoot well from 3. Obviously, that's something that they have to do to beat us, but they went 7 for 33. Jamal Murray's not going to shoot like that every time he touches the floor. Dylan Brooks is not going to shoot like that. RJ Barrett, maybe, but he's going to have a couple games where he gets hot. Kelly Olynyk's going to knock down threes. I can keep going down the line. And so that's not a 7 for 33 type of team. Now, you can attribute that to defense, yes, but also they just miss shots.
Well, you see that block by LeBron, too?
Yes, which started the fast break. Yes, that was good.
LeBron was playing defense last night.
That was definitely good.
But that's the thing too. Defense when you don't have as much offensive responsibility. I mean, that's why everyone's buying into defense. It's easy. You don't have to do everything.
I see where a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, well, Team Canada or Team USA, they didn't play their best at this point or didn't play their best at that point. But you can say that for both teams at any point in the game. Where this could happen or that could happen. Or, that's just how ball works, man. Sometimes you're not going to be on your game for a quarter, and that's how you lose basketball games. Like that's literally how basketball happens, bro. It's a game of runs. And when you got guys like, and I forgot about RJ. See, no, I didn't even mention RJ. So when you got guys like RJ, Shea, Jamal, Dylan, those guys can go on runs. Like Shea and Jamal can go on crazy runs by themselves, and they do it. They do it in the NBA all the time. So it's like this. I don't understand how this is a far-fetched thing. Now,
Mars, why?
Again, I really wish. What's his name? Zach. I really wish Zach was playing. Team Canada.
That's not it though.
Yeah.
They still got they got Benedict Mathurin. I wish he was healthy and able to play. Shaden
He's
Sharp.
Canadian too?
Yeah. Benedict Mathurin, Shaden Sharp.
What? I didn't know
It's
that.
one more player too that they
Andrew
missed.
Wiggins.
Oh, Andrew Wiggins, obviously.
Hi,
Yeah, Drew
hello.
Wiggins.
Don't forget
Hey,
about him. I didn't know
Things
he
would
was
look
Canadian.
a little different if those
I
three
did
were
not know
out there.
Mathurin was Canadian. I did not know that. Canada got some talent.
Yeah.
Canada has
It's
some
their most
talent.
talented team ever.
Maybe, yes. That could very well be a fact. Mars, I have such a difficult time with when you don't have as much offensive responsibility. You are a great defensive player, but we've seen guys with a lot of offensive responsibility be great defensive players, though.
Who?
James,
They're just
When
yeah,
Jordan.
35?
you give them they're better. Like they're able to
Right.
do it. You give them the credit for being able to do it. You
Right.
don't then expect everyone to be able to do what they can do. It's
So
like,
we can,
oh,
keep going,
Amen
I'm
Thompson,
sorry.
you're not a great shooter, but I've seen guys be great shooters. I mean, Steph Curry, I've seen a guy be a great
No, we
shooter.
don't
Why
wanna
are you
do
not a
that.
great shooter?
no
like,
one do that.
What they can do is rare. The fact that Scottie Pippen could be as good as he was offensively, as pivotal as he was offensively, and still be able to pick up Mark Jackson full court, that's a testament to his greatness. The fact that Kawhi Leonard in 16 and 17 could be as influential to the Spurs offense and still carry that burden defensively is a testament to him. The fact that LeBron from 09 to 2013 could do everything he did on offense and still be that important on defense is a testament to him. Jayson Tatum, the fact that he's able to be as key to Boston's defense and carry the load he does on offense is a testament to him. You don't just be like, well, Tyrese Halliburton, why can't you do that? Like, I feel like if you hold everyone to the standard of the rare air, you're going to be disappointed.
Well, that's the issue right there, Mars. Like you just said, well, Tyrese Halliburton, why can't you do that? Then we can't talk about you like we talk about those other guys. We can't put you in that same conversation off the strip that.
Not, but he's a point guard.
Well, yeah, he's not those guys. He's not Kawhi Leonard.
But with him being a point guard, I mean, I don't think that changes anything, Swiper, because we did the same thing with Jason Kidd, right?
Jason
We
Kidd
did-
but it's a different kind of athlete, and it was a different time as well. Like in this era,
But he
like,
did carry that kind of offensive load, though, Swiper.
Yeah, but
in
he
terms
wasn't.
of being
But
elite
the
on
issue,
the defensive side of the
but
basketball.
being a positive defensive player in this league now at the guard position requires more movement and more horizontal action and more screen running and more off-ball movement than it ever has. So I think that's the problem. Anthony Edwards can't even do that all the time, where he's able to be a plus on both ends, because Anthony Edwards even loses off ball because it takes so much effort. And so I think LeBron now, he's in a situation where he doesn't have to be the best offensive player on the court every single night. And so therefore, look, he's playing off ball. We're moving. You know, somebody's running to the rim, weak side rim protection. All right, run, sprint, transition, and then he's out. And then he goes out for several minutes. So that's the thing. The U.S. team can keep everybody fresh. So everybody should be playing defense.
Sure.
All of y'all. Because there's no reason. Because if you get tired, Tatum's in the game. And Tatum's 26. So he don't get tired as it is.
Right.
And then
Swiping, we was coming up, when we was coming up, we was always told rest on offense.
Like on the corners and stuff.
Saying? Like, just if you tired, you don't rest on defense, you rest on offense.
The reason why the game has kind of changed, but I can understand. I agree with it should be 1,000% easier to rest on offense than defense. But when we're talking about, because the NBA players who don't really play defense and get maligned for it, the Trae Youngs, the Lukas, LeBron at this point of his career, they have such a large offensive burden that they can't rest on offense. That's not an option for them. Like, you look at what the Hawks look like without Trae Young, for example, for long periods of time, or the Mavs without Luka, or the Lakers without LeBron, or the Warriors without Steph. there's not an option for them to rest on offense. Like, they might have a couple possessions where it's, oh, here you go, Kyrie, I'm just going to stand around. But long term, you can't just rest on offense for them. Whereas before, when offense was more egalitarian, kind of, you maybe could take a couple plays off offensively and stay in the game. And also, you probably just didn't have to do as much on defense when the game wasn't as fast and spaced out. So it was also easier to rest on defense. Whereas now you rest on defense, you're giving up so much more because of all the space. It looks worse than before when guys would still rest. Because I can find games where some of the best defenders ever take plays off defensively. I've seen plays where Hakeem just didn't feel like rotating down a couple times. You can get away with it more when there's already two other people in the lane. Like, it's not noticeable. But now Jokic takes a play off defensively and it's a wide open layup. It's different. So, like, I think a lot of things have changed, which is why it makes bad defense more noticeable. And it also means players can't rest as much on offense as maybe they want to.
Yeah, that's largely due to the game being more wide open, it being a little bit faster, the ball moving a little bit more. So the fact that the ball moves a little bit more, you can expose guys who chilling on defense than you could back then. Because
that's why bigs had the biggest responsibility in the league, Joe. They have to do everything. Everything. They got to move off ball, up.
Well, you can't just sit in the paint and put your hands. No, you can't do that anymore. Sure,
you got to do everything. You got to close out.
Yeah, I get with that because bigs stretch the defense. They shoot the long ball, right? They play in the mid range. I definitely get with that. They run more. Sure, right. I mean, bigs ran back then too, but they run more today. They stop at the long ball line. You got to cover at the long ball line. You got to cover in the mid range. I get that. Recover. I think that I think where my divide is when it comes to Mars, sure. I don't expect Trae Young to defend like Drew Holiday. I don't expect Ja Morant to defend like Herb Jones. No, I don't expect that and have to do what he does on offense because, of course, not everybody is built that way. My issue is that when we talk about these guys, like we talk about the guys who are doing that, and we put them in the same category with those guys, that's where the divide comes with me.
You said Drew Holiday and Herb Jones, though. Those are role players.
But what I mean when I say Drew Holiday, I'm talking about a guy defending. I don't mean completely as a player. I don't mean Drew Holiday or Herb Jones as a player completely. I just mean him as a defender, how he can defend like Drew Holiday. I don't expect Drew Holiday.
Why do you think Anthony Edwards will never be as good defensively as Drew Holiday?
Well, here's the difference. Well, I think one of the main reasons why is because I think Drew Holiday has always committed himself on the defensive side of the ball first. That's always been his game. Number two, I think that the game today is more offensive oriented, and a lot of guys focus on offense. Anthony Edwards is one of those guys who came into the game a lot focused on offense, and I think that his game defensively has gotten better. I think the complete opposite with Drew Holiday, where he came into the game not as a scorer, but as a defender who improved his offense. And I think
Drew got drafted to the 76ers team, right?
Yes, he did.
And didn't have to be Ant, though. Ant walked in number one option basically from day one. Cat was there, but then it transitioned to Ant by year 3, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Edwards has a lot more offensive responsibility as the primary engine. That's where I was going. On the perimeter, getting to the rim, three-pointer, pull-up shots, and playmaking. Drew doesn't have to do that. So I think and Ant can lock in at times, but I think it's just the consistency that you're able to do that with. Drew Holiday and Herb Jones and KCP and Alex Caruso and Derek White, they can play at that level defensively consistently because they're just not going to offer any of that offensively. They don't have to like think about it. When you're running a pick and roll for Luka, for instance, the amount of effort it takes for Luka to bring the ball up the court, to snake a screen, get downhill, step back, reset, get somebody else moving, get down to the rim, and then I either got to push the ball up or I got to spin it out to the corner and then whatever. And then come back on the other end and like, we're switching, we're moving. I just think that's like for a 48-minute game, that's just a lot. That's a lot of ask.
But I think the difference is I think Anthony Edwards is actually committed to the defensive side of the ball and being more of a complete player. I think that he wants to be talked about like those guys. Now, don't get me wrong, Mars. I can appreciate your logic that it's difficult. It's more difficult when I have that offensive responsibility. Plus, you're asking me to defend at a high level throughout the entire game. Sure, I can definitely get with that logic. But a guy like Anthony Edwards looks like he's committed himself to being more of a complete player, which is the guys that we're talking about. Sure, I'm not going to be able to do that with Jrue Holiday because, one, Jrue Holiday, I don't think he has the skill set that Anthony Edwards has. That's number one. Two, I don't think he's the athlete that Anthony Edwards is. And three, which is the most important thing, I think that Jrue Holiday is on a better team. So because he's on a better team, his responsibility is a little bit lessened as opposed to what Anthony Edwards has to do. But I feel like a guy like Anthony Edwards being on that side of the ball, wanting to be more committed. I think he wants to be talked about like we talk about James. I think he wants to be talked about like we talk about Kawhi Leonard when he was at his apex. I think he wants to be talked about like that. And I think that he can do that, but it's difficult to do that. Don't get me wrong. I think it's difficult to do that for an entire game, but I think it's feasible that I can do that for long stretches of the game because we've seen guys do that.
That's why these dudes are in the NBA because they're top tier athletes. A lot of it's like you got to move anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're not just standing there. So a lot of times, to me, it's really not that. I mean, I've said it before. It's not that they can't do both. Like you're gonna be tired anyway. You have to move your body. Like no matter what, at no point in the game can you just be standing there. Especially like as Mars pointed out, the way we play ball now, they're moving so much you can't just stand anyway. So it's just the effort thing. A lot of times I think it's just a lot of guys just like, oh whatever, you know, he beat us already anyway. We're gonna go get it back down there.
Sure.
But it's like these are top tier athletes. So a lot of times when we say these things, we're talking about, oh, what are too tired. That's because we've never been, or well, some of us have, you know, most of us have. Well, I know everybody up here is athletes, though, but you know what I'm saying? That's a different level of in shape. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
I don't know if you've ever, well, I don't know if you've ever been through an NBA workout or anything like that. Like, them dudes, and that's just light shit. Like, them warm-ups and stuff that they do, like, you be exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're in impeccable shape. Shape that most of us, I see these dudes like, bro, they're in such good shape. They're not too tired to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you know what I mean? It's not really like we just can't. Most of us can't relate to that. Like most of us have never been in NBA shape. You know what I'm saying? Like,
to your point.
There's only one sport that I think I would never be in shape enough to do consistently, and that's boxing.
Right.
I don't think I could ever do that.
I'm not questioning that you've never.
No, I'm saying I agree with you. There's just levels. There's levels to stuff.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, bro, they're in such good shape. Like, bro,
there's a reason why it looks like that. Yeah, like you just said, Ox. There's a reason why it looks easy because I'm a pro. It's what I do, right? As opposed to people who see that and go, "Yo, I can do that." No, you can't.
Right.
It looks a lot. There's a reason why it looks as easy as it does because them dudes are pros. So
sprinting all 94 on back-to-back possessions. Ox, go get a lay, go get a block, fight over a screen, sprint back, open corner three. Yeah, bro.
I'm not just talking about the NBA either. Obviously, I'm talking about most professional sports. You know what I'm saying, like them dudes, the type of athlete that you got to be to do that type of stuff it's insane. And most people never even experienced one of those type of workouts. I can tell you for sure, that shit is not no joke.
Well, Swiper just brought it up. Like, imagine fighting somebody for 3 minutes straight, just once.
No.
Like not 12 times, not 12 times. Just do it one time. We're gonna stand here. We're gonna fight for 3 minutes straight, just once.
Yo, chill. I used to do like Muay Thai. And the first time I did like the sparring, we only did like I think we did 5 or 6 rounds, just 3-minute rounds. Chill, I almost died. I was like, bro, this shit is crazy. Because you got to keep your head, you got to protect yourself. You got to keep your hands up. You can't just stand there and rest. I was like,
and by the way, Swiper, to your point, and in between rounds, I only get like 30 seconds. I got punched in the nose, and all of this is all screwed up now. And I got to get my programming back together. And I got 30 seconds to get it back together and get back out there. And we got to do it again.
Yeah, if you ain't never, if you have never been, and I think this is to Ox's point, if a lot of people I don't think have ever been fatigued to the point where you literally like cannot lift your legs or cannot lift your hands anymore. And again, everybody gets to that point at some point, but like the thing is, when you're at that level, the level that it would take to get you to that point is almost non-existent. It can get there, but you're the pushing you to that point, like, you know, that's a different kind of thing, bro. Like, I mean, even bro, Ox, there there was a time like when in college they were running a spread and they ran no huddle from the 10 to the goal line on the other end. And by the time I got down there, bro, I'm literally like they're like base cover 4. I'm literally like walking back to the like and like just bro, it's no way, bro. I'm telling you. So that's what I'm saying, bro. Like the stuff that it takes for them to be great, which is why you always respect what athletes are doing. Like they're just a different type of human being. So to your point, they should be able to do it. But what I've realized, I think being on this end a little bit more, bro, it's like a lot of players just don't want to do it. So they just don't.
That's the difference.
They just don't.
And what we're talking about, and we're talking about the Olympics. Like this is the best of the best. This isn't good. This isn't good talent. This isn't great talent. You know, the 100 meters. I am the fastest man on planet Earth. There's nobody on Earth who could run faster than me 100 yards. Nobody. I mean, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, that's crazy. So that's all I'm saying. I think that they're in shape enough to be able to play both ends of the court, and a lot of guys do. You know, I think this season I really saw a lot more defense. Like there's a lot of guys in the league that do play both sides of the court, and just because they're not superstars and averaging, you know what I'm saying, 25 or 22 plus per game, I don't think they get the credit they deserve as two-way players, because obviously, as we know, you can be impactful on offense and not do a whole lot of scoring. You know what I'm saying? There's guys that's getting guys open, setting picks, passing the ball, moving without the ball. They're constantly moving. They're in impeccable shape. They're not too tired to play both sides.
Who is the fastest person in the world right now? Is it
No,
the 200?
Noah Lyles, yeah.
Lyles?
Yeah.
I think so.
He might be the fastest 100 too.
2 in the 1?
Potentially one.
I believe. I'm pretty sure he's better at 200. I think he's better.
Yeah. 200's his race.
Yeah, so I think he is the best at both.
Yeah. He won the 100, I think, for the men in the trials for the U.S.
Yeah, I think he's the best at both. I think.
Christian Coleman
for sure. When it comes to 200, he act like he Anthony Edwards. Like that's how cocky he is about his craft at the 200. And I mean, you got to respect it. I'm the best here, and I need y'all to know it. I need the world to know it. At the 100,
the chat saying Kashane Thompson.
Where's Kashane from?
Well, you run the 1 and the 2 on the same day too, don't they? In the Olympics?
I don't think it is.
The four is
Kashane Thompson is a Jamaican sprinter. Jamaican.
Oh, okay. I know France got a pretty fast guy too.
No, we don't care about France.
He don't got that Jamaican speed.
I heard Max Kellerman say that track athletes aren't athletes, and I almost fell over when I heard that.
What?
Because there's no way
he was just playing.
He had to have been, because I almost lost my mind when I heard him say that. Because there's no way you could sell me that a person who can run a quarter mile in under 20 seconds is not an athlete. There's no way you could sell me that a person who can run the length of a football field in under 10 seconds is not an athlete. There's no way you could sell me that. No way.
Speaking of which, y'all seen the young boy?
Oh, the
16-year-old?
Oh, yeah.
Did
he make the team?
It's Quincy.
I think he made one of the. Yeah. He might have made one of the teams. I think. I don't know if he made individual, but I think he made one of the relay teams.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
16.
So he getting faster though.
He's getting faster. But you know that's like old girl, bro. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Sydney McLaughlin LeBron. Bro, she was 16 and she was competing at this level. And then she went from 16 to 18. It was like, all right, damn, she's already catching the best in the world. And then by the time she was 19, it's wrapped. And she just set the record. She set a world record at trials this last weekend or 2 weeks ago now in the 400-meter hurdles. So she's going to win the 400. She's going to win the hurdles. She's going to win the 4x4. I don't know how far away she is from doing like the 200 or anything if she ever wants to do that. But her and Simone Biles are the best athletes and maybe two of the best athletes in the world, like all around.
Sydney's wild. Y'all know how old she is right now? 22.
She's like 21, 22, bro. She's young.
22. Yeah,
she's
gonna be a star for a long time.
What about the chick from Jamaica? She's 38 and she's running sub 11.
Oh, you talking about Shelly Ann Frazier?
Yes.
This is her
she's
last
still
one,
around.
Yes.
Yeah. She got a baby and everything. She got a baby and everything.
Yes, and running sub 11 in 100. Like what the hell?
Mars, when you got it, you got it.
And keep doing it.
I want to go back to
miss them good old days. I was talking about them good with Maurice Green. You know, man, what was her name? I know what I'm talking about.
The girl with the short haircut.
God, I can't remember her name.
No,
Those, you know, back back in the 90s, though, man, those are some good.
Yeah, she got caught with PEDs. She'll, you know,
Marion Jones.
Marion
I'm talking about.
yep.
Marion Jones.
Mhm.
Marion Jones.
She did everything.
Marion Jones was different.
She wasn't.
Mhm. Got caught with PEDs though. That's that's gone. Stripped all them tiles.
Yeah.
It was fun to watch it. I'm gonna just put it like that. Hey, it was like Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire. Hey, it was fun to watch.
Yeah,
but still the most amazing feat though is the fact that, bruh, is the Flo's record is still there. Still.
Who he's talking about, Mars, is FloJo.
Still Mars.
I don't know if you ever heard of her.
It's been 40 years damn near.
Florence Griffith joined us. She was incredible.
Mars, it's been almost 40 years. Still got it.
If you see,
wait, Mars, do you know who she is, Mars? Or
I heard a lot about cheating issues going on in the 80s.
Which she wasn't. That wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't know those records counted. But if she wasn't cheating,
no, she wasn't. She was not.
It never got proved ever at any point.
What you see with Asia Wilson, where Asia Wilson plays with the sleeve on her leg, FloJo was doing that 40 years ago. Like nobody was. FloJo was the first one to start doing that. So,
she died young too. Didn't she have like a heart?
She had a heart problem.
She had a heart issue.
She had a heart problem. She was
in her 30s. In her 30s.
Damn, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could talk to Marion Jones, I'd tell her that I ain't tripping on the lying part. I'm not tripping on that. Everybody lying about something. Everybody. The janitor that's working at the airport, he lying to somebody about something. My issue with Marion Jones was that, you didn't have to do that. You was already better than all of those girls. That's why they were doing it.
Yeah.
That's why they were doing it, because they wasn't as good as you. The people that you had around you, those were the people who you didn't need around you, because they told you something that you didn't need. You didn't have to do that. Those girls was doing that because they weren't as good as you, and you didn't have to do that.
Mars, I think if I remember,
you were already faster than them girls. Mars, she was winning races. She was winning. When she was on PEDs. If she wasn't on it, she'd be winning races like this. On the PEDs, she was winning races like this. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And with FloJo, I believe she had heart problems earlier in her life as well. It was just like a murmur or something like that. And so just one of them things that just happened out of nowhere. And you can't really catch that. Yeah, Lane Thompson, she tore her Achilles, right? She tore her Achilles, I believe. So like I think she's out. She tore her Achilles earlier this season. The US got like so this is two things, Jill. Two things I do not like watching, or I'll watch the men's for track for the U.S. I always prefer the women, but I only watch U.S. women's national team for soccer. I never watch the men's. The men's are trash. They've been trash my whole life. But the women, they've been amazing since 1999, bro. I can't wait to watch the women win the Olympics again this year. Hopefully, we'll see.
Hey man,
I miss
Trinity out there now, boy.
Yeah, Trinity Rodman.
It's a new era now.
Sophie Smith. Yep. Everybody. It's brand new, bro. Malik Moore didn't make a team. She's been on the team since 2008, 10. She's out. Like, bro, like this is a whole new era of girls.
Swiper, who was the one? I used to love the goalie. What was her name?
Alex
no.
You talking about
no. You know what I'm talking about.
Brianna?
No, he's talking about Hope Solo.
Hope Solo. Thank you, Swiper.
Yeah.
You know I'm talking about Hope Solo.
Yeah, this is like 2012. Yeah, about 2012 era.
Yeah, Hope Solo was dope.
I know we're gonna talk about it, Ron. I'm not sure. I'm sure you heard about what Grant Hill said about Kawhi Leonard. I'm sure we're gonna talk about that at some point.
What did he say?
Well, and this is what I don't understand. I've never understood this, because a lot of times that's why this show is the best show on the internet, because you're not let off the hook. So Grant Hill says, quote, not to get into the particulars, but we just thought that it was a good time to pivot. No, Mr. Hill, how about we get into the particulars? What did you see to make you pivot? Was it something physically? Could he run? Could he not run? Was his game not sharp? Don't let him off the hook with that, get into the particulars. No, let's get into the particulars. Kawhi Leonard, for all intents and purposes, Ox has said to me plenty of times, Ox thinks he's one of the 10 best players in the world. So if that's true, let's be clear about one thing. He got cut. This thing wasn't mutual. Listening to Grant Hill yesterday, this thing was not mutual between them. He essentially got cut from the team. So if that's the case, why did he get cut? Let's get into the particulars. What was wrong with him? Did he not run as fast as you thought he was? Was he not as sharp as you thought he was? Was he not as strong? Because we all know that Kawhi Leonard is in shape. And they lose in the playoffs a couple of months ago. So now he's got 2.5 months before training camp opens. When he shows up, what does he look like? Does he not look as strong? And how long did it take for you guys when you saw him to go, you know what, this thing isn't working? Because I'm 100% confident, Mars, that they saw him in day one, and somebody on that crew saw him and was like, well, I think we made a mistake, but let's give it a couple of more days.
So what's up with all the speculation?
Let's give it a couple of, the reason why.
How could you speculate that he's just not in shape?
Well, you know why? Because let's not get into the particulars. Let's get into the particulars. That's why I'm speculating, because they wouldn't get into the particulars. Ask these questions.
Frank Isola yesterday. I'm listening to Frank Isola. He was saying that there was just a lot of concerns about their right knee.
Is it just that simple?
I think so. I mean, it's been a problem for 5 years now. So you know what I mean? I think that's just what it is. They was just like, man, we not finna deal with it. Like,
that's the best case. I'll say it like that. That's the best case scenario. That was because of the knee. Best case scenario.
I mean, that's what they said. So I don't know anything other than what they said. And they said that there was just real concerns about his right knee. They didn't say that he hurt it again. They didn't say that he couldn't run. They didn't say he couldn't walk. They didn't say he couldn't play. They said they were concerned about that right knee.
Right.
So it could be anything. It could be anything from Steve Ballmer saying, yo, like, we don't want him out there playing because we got to get ready for the year. Like, there could be that. It could be as simple as Grant Hill, like, man, you don't look like you're gonna hold up. You know what I'm saying? It could be as simple as Steve Kerr seeing something, you know, might have seen him grimace or something when he cut, like, you know, one of those. It could have been anything. It could have been. It could have been
too. His coach.
Yeah, right. That's a fact. It could, and that's another thing too. It could have been as simple as his knee swelled up after practice one day, and Ty Lue was like, "Hell no, like, we not doing this, bro. Like, you're gonna go sit down, and we're gonna get ready for October." You know what I mean? It could be anything, or chill. It could be really worst case scenario. It could be simple as he came off the court and bro could not walk. Like, yo, I'm done. You know, it could be anything. But the speculation on Kawhi Leonard is what does it for me, because you know it just seems like a lot of hate. You know,
it sounds like he got cut, Ox. That's what it sounded like to me.
And yeah, but cut.
Oh, you're saying it was a game issue, chill.
It sounded like he got cut.
Like, he wasn't as sharp as he needed to be. He didn't.
He
wasn't as good of a player as the other guys that made it.
And he's still better than Derek White. So
that's what I'm saying. It's not because of his game. It's because he just wasn't ready. It wasn't because of his game, because he clearly still has game. It's maybe because he wasn't ready. And you saw him out there going, no, he's not ready. So maybe we need to go in a different direction. And it could be something, and to your point, Ox, it could be something as simple as them going, yo, maybe you should go sit down, and him being the competitor he is, no, I'm good. Give me a little bit more time. We don't have that. We don't have that much time, unfortunately. We do have to move on. That's why I'm saying
that could have something got him as far as he did. Chill. They could have been ready to send Kawhi home last week, and he could have been like, "No, I'm all right. And you never know. You know, Ty Lue might have called Steve like, "Yo, come get this dude." You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I was tripping. It could be simple as that. I'm on. You know, I said it last summer. I was like, man, it might be time for Kawhi to hang him up. You know what I mean? So I was shocked. I was honestly shocked this season. Like
74 games from.
Yeah, I was in complete shock about that. I did not see that coming from Kawhi Leonard.
There's a reason why that happened. Though. I mean, it was a contract year.
Right.
100%. It was a contract.
He got that contract.
Yes.
And that's something like that. With when you got that arthritis and all that stuff in your knee. I got that in my knee, so I know, like, if I want to play, it's just gonna hurt. You know what I mean? So Kawhi probably felt like that. Like, it hurts, but I'm gonna go get this money. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And where like you said, in the contract year, if it wasn't a contract year, he might have probably played 50. You know what I mean?
And to your point, is it a coincidence that, you know, we got a mandate where you got to play a certain amount of games to be an all-pro, and he plays the exact amount of games to be an all-pro and gets a contract extension, but then breaks down in the playoffs? I mean, I don't think that's coincidence. I don't think that's a coincidence at all.
I mean, we seen Tyrese Halliburton put it on the line to try to go get that money.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
he wasn't correct.
Right.
All right, fellas, we're gonna dive into these super chats, and we're gonna continue to talk more about Team USA. It was some summer league things going on. Oh, actually, put the jersey on. Shout out Kawhi, man. And we'll get into some other things as well. Happy to have everybody here. Go ahead and slap that like button if you haven't. And it's a QR code right under Ox. The newest, hottest NBA debate league that you're going to find out there, the PCL, right here on Player's Choice. It's going to kick off July 24th. We'll be dropping more information to the public, but the only thing you need to know right now is that if you got some debate skills, and if you want to debate against any of these guys up here, and if you want to win $1,000, scan that QR code, become a member, or potentially become a wild card member to join the PCL. Oh, yeah, chill. You got a nice shirt on, man. You want to show that off? What does it say?
Right side, left show.
Take it light?
But take it. You know where it is. Courtesy of Player's Choice.
What does that say?
Mm-hmm.
Take it light, but take it.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean?
Exactly what it sounds like, Swiper.
Take it light.
Yeah, be easy, brother, but be easy.
Take it light, but take it.
Yeah, so when you leave, so when I leave, you swipe. Hey, swipe, take it light, brother, but take it. So whatever you're gonna do, do it.
Take it light.
Yes, like take it easy, brother, but take it.
Oh, take it light, like take it easy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, swipe it. Don't take it heavy. Take it light.
Yeah, take it light, brother, but take it though. But take it. Make sure you do that.
And
take it light, but take it.
Where you can find this at is right here on playerschoicemerch.com. Yeah, you see the casual stuff, but you can go get more better things like Winning Only Matters. You seen Mars and Ox wearing that
Take
shirt.
it light, chill.
Or you can go get your Take It Light shirt.
Mm-hmm.
All you got to do is scan this QR code right here. Go to playerschoicemerch.com.
Chill.
You can check out some
Take
of
it
our
light.
new merch.
It actually isn't my slogan. It's I got that from Avon Barksdale. So
Take it light.
You know what Avon Barksdale is, Swiper?
No.
See, you gotta stop watching Romance Island and watch The Wire.
Romance Island. Oh, well, just to be clear, I only watched season 4 of The Wire back in the day. I haven't gotten around
Only
to watching
season
the whole
4?
thing.
that's it.
Well, I mean, you got to think, bro. Like it was college and then grad school, and then I was working.
Right.
I just didn't. And that was because the show was older. But I'm gonna watch it like at this point, at some point soon. But I told you, bro, my focus has been salsa and bachata. I'm not playing with you, bro. I mean, at night, that's what I'm doing, bro. I'm trying to tell you, I'm locked in. I'm locked in for real.
Swiper, is there a chance that we see you on Dancing with the Stars?
I'm not gonna lie to you. A year from now, if you telling me I get to a point where I'm dancing pro, bro, 1,000%. We gonna do a PC show in Miami, and y'all gonna see it at the show, bro. That's a fact.
That's
I
fine.
had no desire to go to grad school. Not that grad school isn't important. Grad school, I think that's dope to have a master's degree. After I finished college, I was done.
No, I feel that.
I had no desire to go to grad school. I entertained it. I did. I ain't gonna lie, Swipe. I did entertain it. I thought about.
That takes a lot of.
Yeah,
that takes a lot of dedication. Swiper.
I definitely entertained it. I thought about getting a grad degree in communications, but I was like, nah, I think I'm good.
Man, I felt like that after 6th grade. Chill. I was like, I'm cool with this. I'm done with this.
Mm-hmm.
Man, y'all get in them books, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Selena's a great movie, by the way. Somebody else. You seen Selena Ox, the J-Lo Serena? Everybody's seen Selena.
They did a damn good job at that too.
Mm-hmm.
Really
Have
good
I
job.
seen Selena?
Yes,
I just seen
apparently
Selena
her
a couple
shooter's
months
getting
ago.
out of jail soon. By the way, I didn't
Yeah, she
realize
is.
that.
Yeah. What she do? She got 35? 35 years or something, right?
So that was 94 when that happened.
Was it 94?
So 30
she
years?
got
Yeah,
30.
30.
Oh, okay, she got 30. I thought she got 35.
Mhm.
Yeah. Shit,
Mhm.
they better put her in witness protection.
Something.
Well, not witness protection because she wasn't a witness, but you know what I mean.
She was. I think Selena was like 25.
Well, technically, she
26,
was a witness.
25,
Technically.
26 at the time.
Technically, she
Yeah.
was.
And you know what I mean when I say this, Ox. Like some when we were younger, there were some women that were beautiful then that era and all that era faded out. Selena,
Nah,
beautiful every era.
I was watching that music video that I Will Fall in Love with You video.
Mhm.
Mars, to
Y'all
give
know
you some
about
inclusion
Selena.
here,
That
Mars, just so you know, Selena, she was basically Taylor Swift of Spanish music, and her manager ended up killing her.
Everybody loved her.
Yeah,
And what did she kill her about?
Taylor Swift, but bad, Morris.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Taylor Swift, but actually like, boom, like you know what I'm saying.
And imagine you hearing
Yeah, Mars, he's
that-
saying your
that-
queen don't got no boom to her.
And imagine you hearing Mars that
messed
you're.
up.
But it was over money, right? She was stealing money from her.
She was stealing.
Yeah,
Yes,
she was
she was
stealing from
stealing. Mm-hmm.
Well, and why did she shoot her though?
Because she found out she was
She
stealing.
got caught stealing.
Mm-hmm.
because you
She
got
found out
you
you was
got
stealing
out.
from her. Mhm.
Yeah,
Damn.
you know.
Gotta watch who y'all keep around you, man. People
That's a
that
fact.
steal from you, and they get mad at you because you caught them stealing and called them out.
Right.
Shit, I've been robbing around for about 10 years now. I ain't gonna shoot him because of it.
You know, you're not gonna rob us no more. You know, but it's good. You're not gonna rob the people at their time. That's what we not gonna do, Ox.
Ron, you ain't never robbed nobody?
Super chats, y'all. Super
No,
chats.
no.
We got some members. Refuse, by the way. Shout out to you. Appreciate you for coming through. AI money 231. We getting AI money now. I
That's
like that.
our
I like
money.
that. That's AI, Mars.
Okay. Well, cool.
Hey, Mars, it's 2026,
Cool,
man. That's
cool,
definitely
cool. You
AI
got
money
it. Yeah, you got it,
231, man. Hey,
you
shout
got
out.
it.
Shout out to my man AI. Tyrone Winston, been a member for 14 months. He said that chip looks like it set JT free.
It did.
Chill, I'm not gonna lie. I like every minute of what I seen from JT last night.
He looked good last night, yo.
I wouldn't
Looked a lot more
that be
confident.
my only thing. Chill with
Mhm.
JT hooping like that. I got nothing to say because that's what I expect from him. And that was
He was
him
more
and
aggressive last night. He was more
Yeah.
aggressive last night. He looked like he was playing in the flow of the game. He looked like he belonged more than anything. He didn't just look like he was out there. He looked like he belonged out there amongst the best players in the world. He did.
Do you think it's pressure for him though, like playing for the Celtics and being their number one option? JT.
Who?
Do you
Well, like
think it's
pressure in what way?
to just make things happen when he
Like,
doesn't
when he
necessarily
played
have
with
to?
the Celtics?
Yeah. You think it's
I mean,
pressure
there's
to
always
force
pressure.
shots
He's a
up? And-
$300 man, and he's the $300 million man. He's the best player on the team. So there's always pressure. JT, look, man, JT has had these moments where he's been like, damn, that dude might be the best player in the world one day. But then he has a lot of moments where he's just like, dude, like, I just wish you would, figure this other stuff out. I think JT's always going to oscillate between those two things. I think that's just how he is. But that's how any player in that realm plays, though. That's just how they operate. They're always going to fluctuate between those two things.
Some of them, but that's the
Sounds to
difference
me-
between the upper great players and then the players where it's like you're great, but you're just not that guy.
It just sounds
the
to me
consistency. Are
with-
you gonna
with-
are you gonna fluctuate quarter to quarter? Are you gonna fluctuate game to game? Are you gonna have 3 games and then out of those 3 games you have a quarter that you take off? It's the difference between the going back and forth.
And it sounds to me like Swiper has Jayson Tatum in the always leaving him wanting more realm. Kind of like how I felt about Lamar Odom. As good as Lamar Odom was as a talent, I always felt like he left me wanting more. There was always more there that he didn't give me. And because of that, I don't think he ever really reached the player that I thought that he could possibly be for that reason right there.
Here's the thing. I think JT could be the best player on this Olympic team. I just think I said this already. I think he does everything. And they need a player that can do everything. They just do. And Tatum is young. He's 26, play defense, get to the rim, can shoot, can rim protect, can play on ball, can pass. He can do everything.
Mhm.
So I think JT can be.
Really no weaknesses in his game like that.
Yeah, I think that's the best way, Ox, I would describe JT. He's at least a B in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't say that about
A lot of guys.
most any player.
Right. It's just
Indy City C said Mars said Hallie's skills are redundant. 6 assists, 0 turnovers, plus 17. He's the only American, quote unquote, pass first, all-star caliber player. Everyone else is score first.
Mars, did you say his skill set was redundant?
You said that,
What?
Mars?
What I remember, because Ron asked a question about who's happy to be there yesterday.
Sure.
And Ron said Drew Holiday. And it was something about like he's the worst player there, something along those lines. I can't remember word for word. And then I asked if the issue you have with Drew is that like they don't really need him. I said, wouldn't that argument make more sense for Halliburton? Because they already have high level playmaking on the team, and Drew provides elite level defense on the perimeter that no one else can provide like him. That's what I said. But if you want to say that I was wrong about that in comparison to Drew, I'm still going to disagree. But the reason I said it is because I think Drew deserved his spot more than Hallie would deserve his. Because I think I said what Drew brings is harder to replace than what Hallie brings. And I still stand on it. So, yeah. But I don't think he's redundant in general. I don't think he's pointless to be there. But Drew versus Hallie, Drew's skill set is harder to replace than Hallie's. I still believe that.
You guys, you guys all think Drew's better for this team than Hallie? Like if one had to go, and you guys had to make the decision.
Bro, I just think Drew's better, bro. All in every aspect, bro. I just think Drew's better.
I didn't ask you that, Ox.
Well, that's the same thing. Like I just like in any way you spin it, yes. The answer is yes, 100%. Okay. I think he's better for this team. I think he's better for every team.
All right. Swipe up, Mars, chill.
Well, I said it yesterday. Yeah, I think Drew is more necessary for Team USA.
Just like I don't have a problem with Derek White being on the crew because all the other stuff that they have is already necessary, and they got it. Now we need the other stuff, and Derek Holiday is the consummate utility guy.
Derek Holiday, facts.
Derek White, I'm sorry, Mars.
They might as well be one.
Combine them. Why not? Combine them.
Derek White is the consummate utility guy. So, Mars, I can understand your logic of Tyrese Halliburton, his skill set being redundant for this crew. Like his skill set isn't redundant as a player, but if you already have something, I can get with that. If you already have something and we don't need any more of it, sure. But it's always good to. I mean, my grandmother told me as I was a kid, it's always better to have too much than not enough. Always.
Facts.
So,
yeah, I first off, Drew Holiday's not in the same tier as Tyrese Halliburton. I respect his defense. I respect what he's able to do. They're two. What Tyrese Halliburton does and brings to the game. It's the dynamicness is on a completely different level in how he's able to impact the game. Drew Holiday does have a great impact, but they're in two different tiers. With all due respect to Drew, but in terms of just redundantness, I actually think what Hallie brings to the table is very similar to what Drew brings to the table in their own respective categories. I think Hallie is by far the best playmaker for this team. LeBron did not look very good last night. Will he look better in future games? I hope so. But in terms of playmaking and setting the table and stuff, Bron did not look good. Halliburton came in, and yes, it was Anthony Edwards scoring and it was JT scoring, but Halliburton came in and flipped the pace immediately. That second and third quarter from Halliburton was nothing short of spectacular. And him pushing the break, him getting guys open, him driving in the lane, dropping the ball off the Bam. Nobody else did that.
That play was great. I really like that play.
Nobody else did that in this game. Can we think of anybody that had a draw-dropping pass? I know somebody made a good pass. It was actually Drew, I think. Drew made a good pass, and then somebody fumbled it and whatnot. But other than that, I didn't see nobody else playmaking.
Jaw-dropping passes. That's what we're talking about. That's what put you over the top.
Jumping off the screen.
So if you don't jump off the screen,
or just a good pass, or just a very good pass. Like
did Drew Holiday blocking Shea and Jamal Murray in isolation jump off the screen to you?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that what they bring to the table is eerily similar. It's just in different categories. Drew brings it on defense. Hallie brings it on offense. But I think what you guys are saying in terms of what Drew brings on defense, nobody else brings. What Hallie brings on offense, nobody else brings. I think these guys are both absolutely necessary for this team.
Well, you thought Drew Holiday was just happy to be there.
Which the most happiest. The most happiest to be there.
Okay.
But keeping it pushing, DSG Piccolo said Embiid was buns last night. Like, damn.
Buns.
Also, did you see Swiper playing garbage time for Canada last night?
Who was up?
What's his name? Scrubs. That was
a scrub on an Olympic team?
No, his name.
No, that name is Scrubs.
His name is actually Scrubs.
Hold on.
He bald headed, so they was calling him you.
Scrubs. What the hell?
Embiid didn't look great. He's playing with that still big wrap on his leg, which is bothering me.
That thing looks heavy, don't it, Mars? Doesn't it look heavy?
Yeah. I'm not saying he's hurt. It's just bothering me. Like, why can't Philly just call him back? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, it doesn't look. I don't think they need him enough to where he should be playing. But the things about Embiid is like, I said it in the chat earlier. Dion said it. AD fits more than Embiid because Embiid just plays a slower brand of basketball. He takes longer to make his decisions. He wants to face up. He wants to jab you. Then he wants to up fake and do it. Whereas with AD, everything's quicker. Like it's just a quicker brand of basketball. You get two on the ball. You find AD. He's either going to drive instantly. He's going to kick out, rescreen. Like he just makes decisions quicker. Embiid is like you got to get the ball down to him, and then he's going to survey the floor. If he doesn't see anything, then he's going to face up. Then a double's going to come, and he's going to kick out. It's a slower approach. It doesn't necessarily fit with what they got going on. It's not a knock on Embiid as a player. I still think he's great.
That's why
for the fit, it's just like it's not seamless.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying you can't give Embiid the ball for the last shot when it's 3 seconds. It takes him too long.
Which it shouldn't. Like he should be able to flash, catch the ball on the block, and give me a quick move, right? He should be able to do that.
Real quick jump hook, straight to
right. He should really be able to do that. Only except he doesn't. Like it's got to be some extracurricular stuff. And that's largely due, Mars, to the offense that they run in Philly. They put the ball in his hands. They operate off of him. I said this already, that he's responsible for everything that they do. So, I mean, Joel Embiid doesn't have that kind of game where, he's doing something quick. It's almost like I feel like, yo, watch me. Check me out. Watch what I'm about.
Exactly what it is, Chill.
Watch this. And then when it just should be something quick, like catch and shoot, catch and jump hook, catch and dunk, stuff like that. It's always get on the perimeter, throw the ball. Watch me throw the ball between my legs. Look at how nice my skill set is. Instead of just getting to it. Get to it, my man.
You sound like Joel's one of them kids like, Mom, watch this. Look what I can do.
Yes, that's exactly who he is. Ox, watch this. Check this out. Watch this. Watch me shoot this three. Watch me throw the ball and step back.
I don't think it's to be flashy. I think he just processes the game slower than a lot of people. I just think it takes some, and that's been a issue with Embiid for a while. Like I understand a lot of his playoff shortcomings come because he's not 100%, but some of it is also due to the fact it just takes him a while to survey the floor and figure out how the defense is defending him and what the right read to make is and how he has to approach each possession. Like if you start throwing a bunch of different coverages at Embiid, he's gonna struggle because he doesn't see the game like LeBron James does. Not many people do. He doesn't see the game like Luka or like Jokic. He has to survey, see what's available, and then he has to try and make the right. Like Ox said about Russ being reactionary. Embiid is like reactionary squared. Ultimate reactionary player. So you put him in a situation like this where you want to play up tempo and you want to play fast. Giving the ball to Embiid, you're going to slow down the game. Like that's just how it goes. You're just going to slow down the game naturally.
And he does have
it takes him longer to make decisions.
Which is interesting because why wouldn't he be able to just catch the ball if he flashes in the middle of the paint, flashes, catch the ball and go up with it, right? Flash, catch the ball and go up with it. He should be able to do that, right? I should be able to get a quick. I should be able to get a quick shot if I get Joel Embiid flashing on the block and he's got his man Barry behind him. He should be able to go up quick. There shouldn't be, I got to process and survey the floor. It's only 3 seconds. Yo, you only got 3 seconds. Get something quick. He should be able to do that. I just feel like when he's throughout the game, it looks like it's watch this, watch me, check me out. I want you to see what I'm doing. And there's times when it doesn't call for that. It should just be something quick. And in this kind of offense that they run, a lot of stuff should be quicker than what it is.
So that's like when me and Ox be training our kids. When I be telling them, yo, it should only take you 2 dribbles to get from here to here. You don't have to take 5 dribbles, do a spin move, and go behind the back. I know that looks good, or you think it looks good, but it's not effective. It's the same thing with Joel. It's like certain times, like you can limit what you're doing, and you can go get that bucket in 3 seconds, but it takes you 8 to 9 seconds to do that.
And I want you to put that in your bag, Ron. I do. I want you to have a spin move. I want you to have a counter because you're going to run up on defenses that are going to stop the first thing you do. But then there's times when, you running up on somebody where you can get right to it. There is no reason there's no reason why we got to do a whole bunch of extracurricular stuff. You got a small man on the box. Just shoot.
That's what makes KD so special because it's nothing extra.
KD gets to it, Mars.
He gonna catch the ball. You gonna close out to him because he shoots 40% from 3. Yep. Then he's gonna rip through and he's gonna take 1 dribble to that elbow and he's gonna pull up. Whereas you get the ball with Embiid, he's gonna do his slow pump fake, then he's gonna jab, then he's gonna drive, and then he's gonna do his little hang dribble, and then he's gonna shoot. It's like you did the same thing as KD. It took you 9 seconds, and it took KD 1.2. Like that's the difference. Like that's the difference.
Well, Mark,
when you visualize that through and through, and it is nice.
Joel,
it do look nice.
It looks tough.
But what is it though, Ron? Like you just said, it does look nice. And why does it look nice? And so why is he doing it? Because you're watching. Yo, check me out. Look at my headshot fake. Look at my jab. Instead of, to Mars's point, Carmelo Anthony was like that. Carmelo Anthony does not play any games. He gets you on that left wing. He gets you.
Oh, man.
There's no misunderstanding about what's going on. It's going to be a 2 dribble. It's going to be a 1 dribble, a 2 dribble get past you, 1 dribble pull up. He's not wasting any time with you.
I'm putting you out your misery quick.
It depends. Yes. It depends though. It depends on what hat are we wearing at the time. You know what I'm saying? If we watching, even with the fan hat on, it doesn't look nice to me. Even when I'm watching with a fan hat, it doesn't look nice. It's like, bro, just go. What are you doing? You playing with the ball. When you're a guy like Joel, when you got great footwork, you're a big body, you're not slow for your size. You got to catch the ball, open up, and get to work. You know what I'm saying? Because not only are you just wasting time letting the shot clock go by, but you're letting the defense set, you're letting the help defense get ready. So the off ball motion from your players anytime they are moving, because most of the time they're just standing and looking at Joel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing? You got to catch the ball and go. You got these moves in your bag. It's like you've been working on this for 20 years, Joel. You know what move to do. You got to have 1 or 2 quick moves and 1 or 2 counters to those moves. And you got to know what you're going to do. You feel the defense. You feel the defense when you're posting up. You don't catch the ball and then catch the ball. You know he's on your right side. Go over the left shoulder. You know he's on your right side. Okay, open up, 1 bounce, spin back left. Boom. Open up, he takes a step back, shoot it. What are you playing with the ball for? It's crazy. I hate that shit, bro. I hate it so much, Chill. It really it burns me, Chill. Chill, it burns me.
Because a lot of it isn't necessary. It is, to be honest with you, it is. Because a lot of it isn't necessary. Now, don't get me wrong, Ox. Philly got a different offense where they do run action off Joel Embiid, and they'll run cross screens. They'll run guys dive into the basket. They'll run stuff like this where Joel Embiid does have to process. And he's got to see where the defense is. But there's times when he'll just run to the block, throw him the ball, get to it. Get to it. There's no reason to do a lot of extracurricular stuff. Just get to it. Give me a bucket. Run into the rim. Give me a bucket. But I feel like a lot of times he'll find himself in that space where, look at me. Watch this. Watch this. Watch me throw the ball between my legs 2 and 3 times. Joe, we know you can handle the ball. We know that. We know you can shoot the long ball. We know that. We know that you can shoot the mid-range. We know that. Just get to it, man. Get to it.
Right.
Damo's in his bag in the chat right now.
Oh, that's crazy.
Y'all do your best to just not react to that because he's in his bag. Absolutely.
Hey, Damo, we are not revoking his passport. He is an American citizen, brother. No.
Chill though. Here's my thing. Like, obviously, don't do none of that. But Joel, if you aren't gonna do what's necessary to help this team win, if you want to be look at me, pump fake, hang dribble guy, don't want to get on the block, can't move, just slow all around the court, I'd rather just go over there with Bam, AD, and Paulo can come back.
Jared Allen, Walker Kessler.
I'm not. Walker can come get down. Hey, you know what? Chet Holmgren. Let's call him Chet.
Y'all are tripping. Y'all tripping.
Embiid's gonna be fine. Like
that's my question. I was
first game, and like
he's never played on an Olympic team before.
He'll be all right.
So we don't know how to play basketball.
He's only ever played one way, Ox. Ever.
That's a cop out, bro.
That's not a cop out. He's never done anything different. This is who he is. He's never. Be honest. Even with Jimmy Butler never there, he never played any different. This is how he's always played.
So Swiper, when you're drafting a quarterback, I'm gonna relate it to football with you. When you're drafting a quarterback and he's used to playing this style offense, but you know he's gonna come and play in this system for your NFL team, isn't there gonna be questions and concerns?
In year 1 or year 2, sure, I can get with that. Ron. But we going into year 10.
I'm talking about for this USA team.
But we know who
we only got 3 weeks,
but
4 weeks. if we, and that's what I'm saying, Chill, we going into year 10. We know Joel's gonna hold the ball. We know he's gonna have his back to the basket. We know he's gonna play lazy but good defense, but lazy. We know he's not gonna get on the block.
So your logic, so your logic is him playing around this level of talent for the first time, even though he's played a certain way for the last 9 years. Well, sure, it's going to be an adjustment, but it's not like he's been playing with bums over the last 10 years. He's been playing with damn good players.
Who's going to make me get off the ball? Even him and Harden had the best two-man game in the regular season.
Right.
Just
he played with assist leader. He's played with damn good players.
And he held the ball. He still held the ball.
That's the point I'm making. Is he going to be sitting here holding the ball for Team USA? Because they did not look good in that first in all 12 of his minutes that he was on the court. They looked terrible.
No, man.
I'm calling sabotage.
Oh,
why?
Double agent Embiid.
I'm calling sabotage.
So he got an Olympic team. So he got an Olympic team to throw sult in to maybe screw us up.
Yes, he's been sent here to tear you Team USA down. That was disgusting. He fouled out in the middle of the third quarter.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. I'll call sabotage for sure. Yeah.
He'll adjust. Like he started slow.
Where's J. Edgar Hoover when you need him?
Oh damn.
Okay.
But
so
yeah, I mean,
I'm man targeted by the FBI. Is that what I'm hearing?
I should have said that, Swiper. I'm sorry.
I just want to put it out there real quick. J. Edgar Hoover is one of the worst humans in human history.
He said that Dr. King is the biggest threat in America.
That's what makes him that right there. Makes him one of the worst humans in human history.
Planted a fake tape to try to get Mr. Coretta Scott King to disavow her husband.
I don't have nothing else to say about that. As you were saying, Ron.
Every black leader in the 20th century was targeted by the FBI Census Foundation, by the way. In the 20th century, if you didn't know. Mm-hmm. Every one of them. Medgar Evers, X, King, all of them. Carmichael, every one of them.
It's crazy.
But he didn't do Medgar though. He didn't do the actual, you know what I'm saying? Somebody else did that.
Oh no, yeah. You know what he did? You know what he did? You know what they did? They when Marilyn Monroe was messing with not just one Kennedy. Did you know that she was messing with both Kennedy brothers? With
Bobby, yeah.
And did you know the FBI made sure that when she had all this confidential information, and then she said that the relationship got ended. They cut her off because both of them. And so Marilyn Monroe, they were afraid of her going out and exposing some different secrets. And so literally went into her house, drugged her, and killed her. Mm-hmm. But
that's not surprising.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's like, Marilyn Monroe died young. She did. She sure did. She sure did. If you read how, literally the week after they broke up with her, dead. Didn't use drugs for real. Had stopped using drugs, but whatever.
That was all hitting that. Frank Sinatra.
Everybody.
Yeah, so back to Joel Embiid. Mars, you expect him to play better and look better?
Yeah, I think this, like I said, it's his first game in a couple months. I think there's some rust in there. Just getting back into the flow of things, getting back into game shape. A couple guys didn't look fully into game shape. Some of them all of them played better than Embiid, but a couple guys didn't look in game shape. Like by the time the Olympics roll around the end of the month, I'm sure Embiid will be better. I'm not saying he's going to play the best on the team, but yeah, I think he's going to look better than he did last night for sure.
Yeah, that's fair to say that too, and that was one of my opening remarks too. I said that Tatum and Ant look good because they was just playing just last month. So I mean that would make some sense why Bron didn't look as sharp as he did. Why it took Steph a little while to get his rhythm going, and some of the other guys as well. Oh yeah, and shout out to Scrub Brothers too, and you as well, Swiper.
Is he good? Who does he play for? What country did he play for? I mean, what country is
he
playing?
They're on Canada. I don't know. There's two Scrubs. I don't know.
One of their brothers.
Yeah, the Scrub Brothers.
They're brothers. They're happy and they're living and they're what? They're what? Chill.
Send me a high five.
I hate that term. I absolutely hate that term.
You don't like him living?
No, It's not limited. It was actually the Wayne's brothers.
Wayne's brothers.
I hate that term, to be honest with you.
What? Which one?
Color.
I hate that term.
We're happy we're living and we're
I hate that
colored.
shit.
Give me a high five.
Give me a break.
Look up, Marlon. Say cheese.
Sorry Key has been a member for 7 months. He said Otani better. Dub Mars. Ron. Mariners looking good.
And didn't your pitcher make the All-Star team?
No, chill. 4 of our pitchers got robbed.
4 of them. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
I just saw the most recent one.
Yeah, look,
They got robbed,
Logan-
Ron, or they made the team?
No, they got robbed. We
So
got
none of your pitchers?
No, we got one pitcher that made it.
That's what I'm talking about.
4.
One of them. Yeah, one of your pitchers made the All-Star team. I did know that.
Oh, yo, did y'all see the Colombia versus Uruguay soccer game at the end of it yesterday?
Oh, the head. We got
And
hit
the
with
fans,
header?
they got in a fight with the fans.
Oh yeah,
You
saw
ain't
that.
see
I
that?
did see
Yeah,
that.
I think
Yeah,
somebody
it was-
threw something down, and then
It was the Malice in the Palace.
right, they went up there.
And,
No
Malice in the
suspension for
Palace.
them though.
Yeah, Malice in the Palace. That's what's going on.
and for this, yes, Otani is better.
Mars, you up there like this is what Omar was talking about. I'm like, Omar, nobody asked you, nigga. Shut up.
Nah, he was cooking, man. I'll run. That's long story short. I'll run.
Talk
I didn't even
about
see what he
word.
said,
Talk
but-
about word. Talk about word
Hey,
salad.
Yeah, it was a 45-minute word salad on word salads that was basically just saying, "Run, you're a bad host."
Okay.
Like nobody asked.
Like the
you,
video,
man.
Omar.
Better like the video.
Omar made a video about Ron for like 4
Omar
months.
was on the open gym saying Ron's terrible at his job.
Like for
Okay,
content or for real?
For real. It was the day after he was on Twitter Spaces saying Ron is terrible at his job.
Who is Omar? Let's get
Lowe's
somebody
brother.
that.
Lowe's brother.
Oh.
He's on LKIB. With,
Yo, Ron, what you do to Omar, bro?
with Doma.
I don't even know who Omar is.
Now there's two different sides to Ron. There's
Don't
real
even know
conversation Ron, and then there's pole Ron. He must be talking about pole Ron in
No,
particular.
it's the Ron that lets these tangents happen.
Oh.
This is good.
Like
topic. We talk
what's
about
going on right now.
this is
Ron,
good.
get to
talking,
it, Ron.
chill.
Get to it, Ron.
But
Can we
chill,
get to it, please?
I gotta say, chill. We had good conversations. We talked about J. Edgar Hoover, Marilyn Monroe, the Seahawks, the Uruguay running into the stands.
Never talk
That's
about
good. That's good topic.
Yeah, but that's not what people want to hear because Omar said we got to stay on topic. So
It
let's
needs to
get
be on
back to
topic
the
on
super
ESPN
chats.
and Fox Sports.
Let's
how
get
content
back to
goes.
the super chats, man.
All right.
Let's appease
First things
Omar.
first.
The
Nick
Super
Wright,
Chats
Nick Wright,
brought up
Kevin Wild, and
Otani
Chris
and the
Broussard.
Mariners.
Nah,
They only
and
talk
then
about
you,
who-
and then now
Super
you,
Chats brought
and
up
you
Joel
stayed
Embiid
on it
and
for
Stephen
too long,
Curry.
and you stayed on it for too long.
Dom
Next
brought up
super
the
chat.
Portland Embiid. I'm just
Next
talking about what the people
super
want to
chat
talk
run.
about.
Next super chat run.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
Let's talk about you can't get this everywhere. You can't get
Nah,
this everywhere.
we need
Hey.
to appease Omar.
Wait,
Omar said
Mars,
this is bad. Lock in.
because Damo the one that started the whole thing with Joel Embiid. Is Damo actually doing Joel
He's a double
Embiid?
agent.
Is
Yeah, he's
he
a double agent. He's trying to
sabotage?
sabotage us. He's trying to sabotage
Oh
us.
my God, Damo!
You know what Omar said. He's trying to defocus Ron. But Ron won't get defocused.
Is it that easy to throw you off your pivot, Ron? Is that what we doing right now? Is it that easy?
I'd
I'd like to think you're smarter than that, Ron. Being around you for as long as I've been around you, Ron, I'd like to think you're smarter than that. I would like.
Oh
to
no,
think.
chill. Sometimes I'm not as focused as I should be.
Nah, don't worry, I'll keep you on track.
And mind
Thank
you, all of
you,
a sudden,
Mars.
Damo's not in the chat no more.
Look, hey Ron, I'll
Yeah,
say
he's
it
just,
like
he's
this.
just DMing Omar right now. Hey, my job is done.
Ron, I'll say it like
That's
this.
what he's doing.
I host professionally in real life. I think you do fine. You do wonderful at your job. But you know your gimmick. You know your gimmick. You get your gimmick back, and then we all see it, and you do it. Ron, just the other day, what was it, 2 days ago, y'all? When old boy was on here, and he was like, you know what? I actually agree with what he's saying. We know what he's doing.
Yeah, you're in a
No, wait. So we just found out just a second ago that
100%
Dion was
Ron,
actually
100%
cooking you though.
he is.
We just found out he actually
Dion cooked
cooked you.
Swiper, but that's besides the point.
Wait,
See?
what?
You
About
see?
what?
You're
Oh,
still-
now
you're still in the
what? Oh,
league.
me? I got
See,
Yeah,
About
this is
what?
what we mean. See, now Ron's unfocused. Now we're going to go back to Tuesday and what Dion was saying. Super chats,
What I'm
Ron.
talking about.
Stay focused.
Oh, this is great. This is great content. If you
This
ask
is
me.
why Ron said, "Oh, you see how quick he was going to just go to a whole new topic that no one asked for."
All right, so but we are gonna keep it pushing, but just so it
Don't
doesn't
keep it
skim
pushing
over
me.
skim past you.
You, sir, are about to change the subject.
Well, no, I just want to say you got cooked.
Address the super chat. Don't address me. How about that? Keep it moving.
All right, no doubt. That brother, thank you for sending through the super chat. He said Serbia is going to be tough next game for USA. I think France, Canada, and Serbia are USA's biggest challengers. Greece, not too bad either.
Germany not good.
Ron, you're a Euro guy. Who was the point guard for Greece? He nice as hell.
Spinella?
Oh, what? Nah, Sluka's not playing. Oh, Nick Kalaitis?
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
Kalaitis.
talking
He's talking
about.
about Kalaitis.
He's
He's talking about
nice,
Kalaitis.
yo.
Nick-
I like
Nick-
his game.
Nick Kalaitis, he went to Florida.
Okay, I knew
Yeah,
I knew
he
him from
went-
somewhere.
he-
I just wasn't sure where I knew him from. But I
Isn't
knew
he old as hell too?
Yeah, he got some
He's
years.
at
on
least
him.
36.
Because I remember he was in the league for a little while.
Yeah,
I remember seeing his little Caruso hairstyle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He played for
Yeah.
Penn, bro.
He
Where he played?
yeah, he's going to Monaco right now, though. He's about to go over there and play with Mike James. They got another big dude over there. And as a matter of fact, somebody sent through a super chat either earlier this week or last week, and they said Papa Giannis. And I thought they were just glazing Giannis. But it is the guy over there called Papa Giannis. But it's pronounced Papa Giannis.
He played for the Kings.
Did he? He did, huh? Oh, okay. Yeah. Hey, Papa Giannis is nice. He's expanded his game now. He's shooting threes, but he really like a 7-footer that just you throw anything up to the rim and he's going to catch it. He's really I don't want to say run and dunk, but he's a major lob threat. He's a rim protector. He's one of those type of bigs, but he's very agile. He could run the floor. He's starting to step out and crack that three. But him and Giannis at the 4 and 5, it's going to be some trouble.
I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he was a lottery pick in the NBA.
He very well could have been.
I'm pretty sure.
That was when was that though? That was like what 2000.
It was the Ben Simmons draft, I think.
Okay, so it was a little. Okay,
I might just be chatting right now, but I'm like 70% sure he was a lottery pick.
yeah, but Greece definitely got a solid team. I've told y'all I think Serbia is the second best team. Also, too, Team USA doesn't play Serbia next. They play Australia, then they play Serbia.
They don't play Serbia till later in the month, don't they?
They play Australia on the 15th, Serbia on the 17th, South Sudan on the 20th, and then Germany on the 22nd.
Ron, the big fella from Barca, is it Barca or from Barca? He's French, right? You know the one I'm talking about, the one that I trip off the I think he was
Tavares.
Tavares, yeah. What is
I
he
think
French?
Tavares is American, I think.
Oh,
No, let me see. We're gonna find out right now because he might be Spanish actually.
Mars, the
Oh,
dude you
okay,
talking
okay.
about, Papa Giannis,
Oh, no,
he was on the back end of the lottery. Phoenix took him. The last time he played in the league was in 2018. He was with the Trailblazers. That was the last time he was in the league. He hasn't been in the league since then.
Shout out to him.
Nah, he from Cape.
Okay.
like Africa?
No, Cape. What? How do you pronounce it? Verdian.
Cape Verde.
Cape Verdean.
Yeah, Cape.
Sure.
He's Cape Verdean.
Mhm. Which, for those who don't know in geography, that's off the coast of Africa.
Nice.
So Africa.
I was paying attention a little bit, Mars. I was paying a little bit of attention in geography.
Just the
class. I
tad,
was.
yeah, just the tad.
Yeah, I did.
MP13 said, but maybe Ant's commitment on defense could play a reason into why he has inconsistent games where all his pull-up shots hit the front of the rim in the playoffs.
No. That would suggest that offense is good, and Ant is the problem. I don't know if that's true, because we've seen guys who are elite on both sides of the ball, and they don't have a problem when we get into the meat and potatoes of the game converting on offense. So with that being said, Ant, I think that at this point in his career, he's trying to become a more of a complete player. And I don't think
he had to get in better shape.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, Mars, when you're getting deep into the playoffs, if this is the first time you've been deep into the playoffs, you don't know what it looks like. So now you get to the Western Conference Championship. Now I got to prepare myself for past April. I got to prepare myself for when we get late into the season. And that's mentally. It's not just physically, because, I mean, I could run a bunch of different laps. I can run sprints all day. But when we get late into the season, May, June, I have to be mentally prepared for what this is going to be.
I said that. Apparently, I was making excuses for him, but I agree. So, yeah. But I don't think his defensive consistency has been very good this year. Steve Kerr spoke about it. On the ball, sure. Off the ball is still kind of all over the place. So he's got a way to go, but he can figure it out for sure. This year was the best year of his career from beginning to end. I think defensively, the first couple years were just bad in my opinion. 22, he really stepped up in the postseason defensively, and this past year and the year before, where I think he really stepped it up defensively. Hopefully next year he can like start performing at that like all defensive caliber level year round. It's going to be hard, but hopefully he can.
Which is my next question with Anthony Edwards. How sustainable is that with Anthony Edwards to be a 25 a game guy and not just it be in the stat sheet that he's an all-league defender, where you watch him and go, okay, consistently, this guy is an all-league defender. He plays at an all-league defensive level consistently for 5, 6, 7 years.
When Rob Dillingham is starting next to him as starting point guard.
He has the tools. He has the tools. It's just going to be about commitment and then just about awareness. Like some of it is just awareness issues. He has blind spots, but I think Chris Finch and Rudy Gobert behind him, Jaden McDaniels, I think they can help him. I think it's possible.
You think Dillingham? Because I don't think Dillingham starts initially. I think that he's a year, maybe. Yeah. I think he's a year, maybe 2 years.
No, I'm saying he's a year and a half away, probably.
I
think my colleague's gone after this next year.
Before he gets significant minutes, which I think is good for him, to be honest with you, because I don't know if there's another guy. That's why I like what they're doing in San Antonio, because I don't know.
They're going to be over the second apron because they have 3 max contracts. Well, no, not 3 max. They have 2 max and then 1 almost max. No, Cat's a max. Rudy and Jaden has 130. Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a second apron team already. Then they'll get rid of Mike Conley. They probably won't bring back Nickeil Alexander-Walker unless they want to get that money right. Rob Dillingham starts at the starting point guard position. And then
next year? Not next year, but the
25-26 season.
Yeah, probably that season.
Mm-hmm.
Once Mike ages out.
Okay.
That's why it's so important, especially in this era. Like, you got to win now, because when your team is approaching that second apron, that really clamps.
That's why the Celtics are selling the Celtics ownership selling the team. They're not paying that $400 million.
Rookie contracts are going to become the most valuable contracts in the league.
Yeah,
I won't.
If you can succeed. Yeah, until they was it
2030?
I
can't wait. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, so stupid.
So what is that? Obviously, if rookie contracts are going to become the most valuable, then that changes the narrative on how you draft. You don't just now start drafting.
Well, I don't.
Yeah, you got to draft guys who can contribute on their.
Tim Connolly, you got to get it right.
He traded up to 9. Rob Dillingham was 9 overall. Was that what it was?
8.
He traded up from the late 20s to 8. That's how you're supposed to do it. You don't wait. I don't think Calvin Booth is doing it correctly. I think 21, 29, 30, and then 22. That's like you're basically like you're taking a chance in the dark. If I'm one of these GMs and I'm like, well, I need rookie contracts and I can't use them all in the future anyway, look, I'm going to go and get number 12, give me a Derek Lively or give me a J-Dub. I'm going to go to 9 or something or 8, give me Rob Dillingham. And then look, as high as I can get, then I'm going to go to 6, 5, whatever else it is. Because then if I can get a guaranteed lottery player with from 5 to 12, that's going to be like a 6-man rotation type player year 1 and then be a starter, all-star caliber player by year 2, then I'm doing it.
But Minnesota got Terrence Shannon at the end of the first 2. He's going to be someone who's going to come in right away.
Well, we know why Terrence Shannon.
Minnesota,
Denver, you got your guy in Deron Holmes anyway. That's who you guys were looking at regardless. So you guys did get who you wanted,
right?
And Terrence Shannon ended up going after Deron Holmes. So you guys had the option of someone who could come in right away. You went with Deron Holmes, so I think can contribute for you guys. It's just like even with the Spurs right now with Wemby. If you think Wemby can contribute to winning now, because he's only making like 12 million and he's as good as he is, that makes the flexibility of building your team so valuable. And I spoke about this on Open Gym last week, not about Wemby, but about the value of a great player being paid less than they deserve and how that helps your team win can't be overstated.
No, it can't.
Like I talk about Steph Curry making 11 million and that allowed them to get KD. That is what makes a dynasty possible. You have to have someone who's getting paid less than what they're worth, because then you're able to get guys who are worth 50 million but you're able to afford more of them because you have one guy who's this good getting paid less. Like Shea's gonna be making like I want to say 40-some million. A player of Shea's caliber, that's tremendous value for Shea. When you're seeing guys who are clearly worse than Shea making 10 million more than him. Like you've got to be able to maximize your good players making less money than they deserve. Shea's gonna be making 36 million next year. Like
And
you
it
have
also-
to maximize them.
And also to your point, Mars, when you're in a small market like Oklahoma City, when you're in a small market like Minnesota, you definitely have to get it right in the draft. Because again, we're not getting guys in free agency like that. The money is at a premium in these small markets. So when I have a guy like Chet on a Rook deal, when I have J-Dub on a Rook deal, when I'm able to bag Aaron Wiggins for $48 million, I got to capitalize on this because when the salary cap goes up, the money goes up. And when the money goes up, these guys at some point after we win are going to go get paid. KCP is a prime example of that. So you got to capitalize on this as much as you possibly can. And the most important thing is you got to get it right in the draft. We have to. We can't.
OKC having Chet and J-Dub.
That's huge.
With Shea's going to be making, he's on this contract till 2027. He's going to be making 41 million in 2027. For Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, that's a steal. That's a steal for him. He's going to be making less than Paul George will. Like, no disrespect to Paul George, but for context, you have that. You have Chet and J-Dub under contract for 2 more years, this season and the next season. You have Cason Wallace, who's going to be on a Rook deal. Like, Lou Dort got extended for nothing crazy. You extended Aaron Wiggins for, I want to say, about 8 million. Isaiah Joe somewhere similar. That's where you capitalize. Having guys who are worth more than what you're paying them is where you capitalize, and then you can afford to pay an Isaiah Hartenstein maybe a slight overpay because you have the flexibility of everyone else, and that's what you have to do.
That's exactly why, Swiper. I think the Knicks made a mistake overpaying for OG. I think they made a mistake overpaying for OG off the strength that this is going to come back and bite them in the future because they already had somebody on the crew that could do a lot of what OG does, and now that money that you gave OG, that's going to now come back to bite you later on because we can't really move on from that contract. Just so we clear, as good as OG is, as versatile as OG is, he has had some injuries and he has had some durability issues. I do know that he's also had some personal stuff, but are you going to be able to move OG in 2 years with $42 million? If you decided to come off OG, like what is that contract going to look like trying to move him? If the Knicks don't win, like what is that contract going to look like trying to move him?
It'll be entirely dependent on how healthy he is in those 2 years.
And that's the point, bro. That's the point, Mars. His durability has been in question. So if you're talking about a guy who I already have that on my crew, who I had on the cheap, by the way, to your point, we talk about Steph Curry making $11 million. That's the way we were able to get Kevin Durant. Well, I got a guy on the crew that's similar to OG, who's bigger, I think a better player, and I only got him for $23 million. That's almost half what you're paying this dude. Half what you're paying him. And that gives me more flexibility to enhance the roster. I think they made a mistake doing that.
Who made a mistake?
The Knicks.
The Knicks. I think they made a mistake.
You don't think they should have signed OG?
I don't think that they should. What they paid for him, I think they overpaid for him.
Yeah,
Chill, sometimes you do gotta overpay to put
not for that though. Not if I already have that. I already have.
And who?
And Mikal Bridges. I already have that.
I mean, chill though. It's double trouble. Now you got Mikal on this wing and OG on this wing.
But see, that's
chill. It's one thing to have one number one receiver.
Sure.
But still got Josh Hart though.
It's another thing to have two, and then
They
Swiper
still got
is another
Josh
thing
Hart.
to have Josh Hart as a slot receiver.
And then they got Dante DiVincenzo.
But
now we're just naming role players. They don't.
They're trying to gear up to beat the Celtics. So you got Mikal and OG. They got Jayson and Jaylen. That's how it makes sense to me. Now, I love what the Knicks did, and I just disagree with you that Mikal's better than OG. That's the biggest thing for me. Like OG can, he's, and you said he's bigger. Is like in what way? Like you mean like
Mikal's longer, but OG's bigger.
Yeah, OG's bigger, more of a physical specimen, like size wise. He can bang more with the power forwards and stuff. I love what they did.
I think they both listed as 6'6", 6'7", something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Mikal just looks bigger. He got like a 7'1" wingspan or something.
Yeah, long arms.
And we've already talked about that wingspan, how important it is, right? And with that being said, to Ron's point, that's where it gets tricky with the money, Ron. So when I got a guy that I already got a guy on the crew who does primarily what you do from a talent standpoint, I already got somebody like that. And to Ox's point, when you talk about from a talent standpoint, our unit is built a different way. We've seen teams who aren't as talented win. We've seen that because of how we build in a unit. That's how they building that unit around Jaylen Brunson. They're building that unit around Jaylen Brunson to be a dirty work, fast pace, up tempo. They're not one of those kind of units where we just got a bunch of dudes and we got a bomb squad. No, we're not like that. And if you have something like that where you can have that where you can win, which I do think that the Knicks can do, you have to go with it. And you have to concern yourself with the money. And I can't be in an era where the money is extremely important. And I can't be in an era where I'm paying OG Anunoby over $40 million when I could have that already on a crew for less than that.
How much is Mikal Bridges worth to you? Is he underpaid, basically?
I definitely believe he's underpaid. But with that being said, Mars, to get him right now for being underpaid like he is, I got to maximize that. And I can't trip that up by going to pay a guy who does what he does almost double what he's doing right now.
But I think the way I would rationalize it if I'm the Knicks is, would I be willing to pay OG and Mikal to have them both on my team a combined $65 million? Would I pay $32.5 million for each? Yes.
I actually like that number better.
Yes.
I like that number
technically
better.
Mikal's making 23 and OG's making like 42. But if I add them together, I'm basically paying 65 for both. And I think that's good value. I'd pay 65 million for both of them. So even though OG might be making 10 million too much,
who?
and Mikal might be making 10 million too less.
I'm in the league. That's all we do is pocket watch. That's all they do. That's how it works.
And on top of that, Ox, like we talk about the salary cap and the money matters. We have to talk about that.
Yeah, but just like Mars just said, if you average it out, so it depends on how you're looking at it. If you're looking at it from Swiper's point of view, then yeah, you're pissed because I'm worried about what this man's making. But with the way Mars put it, if he's making 20 something, he's making 40 something. You average it out there making 30 something. So
that's what the front office.
Right, that's what the
front office. My name is Mikal Anthony, whatever his middle name is.
That's not what my check looks like.
My check don't say 32.
Okay, so but see, y'all talking about something else. Then y'all talking about me worrying about what he's making as opposed to what I'm making. That's not. I don't care about how Mikal Bridges feels about how much he's getting paid. I'm talking about the Knicks. Right. I feel you. That's cool. But I'm talking about, are the Knicks paying too much in salary cap or in salary between these two players? No, because if you average it out, it's 32.
Sure.
Like if Jokic is making 10 million, for example, and Jamal Murray is making 50, for example, yes, Jokic is severely underpaid and Jamal Murray is overpaid.
Correct.
But would I pay 60 million to have Jokic and Jamal Murray? Yes.
Anybody's doing that.
So if I'm the Nuggets or I'm the Knicks, I'm looking at it from.
But they don't look at contracts like that, Joe. Just to be honest with you.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm looking at it,
no.
How much am I paying OG and Mikal to have them both on my team? Is 65 million. So on average, they're both worth about 30 million. We got Mikal on a cheap because he signed an extension in Brooklyn that was probably less than his value, and now we've got him on the cheap for 2 years because of it. Mm-hmm. Now we've probably overpaid OG. But because we've got Mikal on the cheap, we can afford to overpay elsewhere, and it doesn't affect our salary cap as badly as it would if we overpaid on both. That's how I'm looking at it if I'm the Knicks to rationalize paying OG 40 plus million. Which we've got Mikal on the cheap. Sure. So we can afford to overpay elsewhere because we got someone for less than they deserve.
Right.
That's how I would rationalize.
Which means now, Mars, when you have Mikal on the cheap for these 2 years, this thing has to work because we only have 2 years because he's up in 2 years. And if we know anything about Mikal Bridges, we've seen him as a number 2, as a number 3 option. He's been fantastic. On top of that, he's an Iron Man. So by the time his deal comes up,
he's gonna get good money on the market. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're probably gonna lose him.
How many years do you got with Mikal?
2 more. That's it.
2 more.
23 million.
That's they can make something happen.
I mean, a lot of teams will do a lot for a 2-year window. A lot of teams will
do and chill. That's why, to me, that's why you sign OG. I got 2 years with Mikal. I got 2 years to make it happen. OG and Mikal make it happen together. Mikal by itself is not enough. OG by itself is not enough. I think these two together in those wings is championship caliber wing play. Now, like I said before, all you got to do is move off unless he's ready to play his role. It's time to move off Julius Randle and build this team to go.
But
See,
also though, also
Randle
we
haters,
talking about in 2 years. Keep in mind, Julius is making a lot of money. That money can always get shifted over to Mikal and dispersed elsewhere too.
But that's the thing, Ron. Actually, Julius isn't making a lot of money. You got him on the cheap too.
He's eligible for extension next year.
Next season, yeah.
He's making 30 million this year.
Yeah, I know he's making more than Mikal,
24, 20.
Yeah, he's making like 7 million.
We got one more year with him, right? And then next year in the 25, not this season coming up, the 25-26 season, he's got a player out. So with that being said, you got him on the cheap too. You got an all pro, right? You got
their contracts are together. Chill. They end at the same time. Mikal and Julius.
If Julius accepts his player option, they
his player option.
Oh yeah, they're in a great position, Chill. They're in a great position.
100% they are.
Because then now we just don't re-sign Julius so we can give Mikal a little more bread.
Bye, Julius.
Or we don't re-sign Mikal and give Julius more bread.
No. Bad move.
No.
We're talking about an all NBA player, all-star.
Yeah, I love Julius. You know I love Julius. I just want the Knicks.
L job.
I just want the Knicks to win.
Ox is doing irreparable damage to Julius Randle's
reputation.
Mars, no, I'm not.
You don't know the impact your words have, man. The way you're speaking on Julius Randle right now.
Mars, don't try to reverse this. Don't try to reverse this. This is what you've done to Julius. I'm saying that
100%, Mars. You are involved in this.
I love Julius. I love Julius's game, bro. I'm a big fan of Julius. I just don't think it fits what the Knicks are trying to do right now. And with OG and Mikal especially, I think you need a guy that's willing to shoot less and rebound more and play defense. I think Julius is capable of that if he got his mind right.
They're gonna have Brunson, Dante, OG. So Mikal, OG, and then they're gonna have Julius. But the problem is Mitchell's starting, so it's gonna be Brunson, Dante, Mikal, Julius, or Mikal, OG with Mitchell, and then off the bench, it's gonna be
Hart.
Hart.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Deuce. It's going to be OG or who? Josh Hart.
Dante's coming off the bench.
So Josh Hart starting at 2 or Mikal?
No, Mikal at the 2.
It's going to be Brunson, Mikal, OG, Randle, and Robinson.
That's what
Josh Hart, Dante, and Deuce.
Yeah, that's what I thought that was.
That lineup is nasty.
Chill. That lineup's worth overpaying for. Especially
you're not overpaying because Jaylen Brunson is
egregiously underpaid. That's right.
They can OG can be overpaid because Jaylen Brunson is ridiculously underpaid.
Who also said that too, Mars. Who also said that he would take. Who also said that he would take a pay cut.
Yeah, he would take a real one. He would sign an extension now for 100 less.
Yeah, he would take less.
And 100 million is.
What? So what's stopping?
You're a better man than me. I'll say.
I'm
that.
like
stopping
this
Knicks.
Me too.
Don't fight
this Knicks team from
winning
the East End. What's stopping the Knicks from winning the East at this point?
Health
Injuries.
Injuries.
The Boston Celtics.
No. So, but if bar for bar, do you think this is a game 7? Game 7?
No, they don't.
I don't think they can go at Boston. I don't think they can go at Boston.
Based on what? What are you basing it on?
Based on being better.
Okay, because I said so, it's not an answer.
I didn't say so. The GM said so.
This why TikTok be hating you, Ox. Let's get into it. Why?
Come on, man. Why are the Knicks better than Boston?
We always get into it. We're gonna get into it because they got. I'll tell you right now. Because they got OG, they got Mikal, they got them two together.
Okay,
that's the matchup for Jayson and Jaylen.
Okay,
with as much as I love Drew Holiday, as much as I love Derek White, they can't guard Jaylen. They can't stop Jaylen Brunson from just going off when he has all these pieces. I think from top. So how we did last year when it was the finals, when we said the top 8 players, 6 of them are on Boston. I think if you do that now, it's more even. It's much more even. You know what I'm saying? It's much more even. I think Al Horford's older now. You know what I'm saying? He's not really gonna. If Julius Randle, this is strongly predicated on Julius Randle buying into this system.
He's the difference.
So if Julius Randle buys into this system, I think the Knicks are the best team in the East. If he doesn't, then okay, Boston got it. But I think it's obvious. I think it's quite obvious. I don't know why y'all getting on me right now.
I just want to put something on your mind.
The
I just
Knicks
wanted
got
to explain
everything.
it. I just wanted you
The
to
Knicks,
explain
the
it.
Knicks
Me
got
too.
they have every counter
Everything
for
they
the Celtics.
Actually, they
Everything
don't.
that they
I don't know
got.
if you know this,
Shit.
Ron. I don't know if you know this, Ron, but Jayson Tatum averaged 35 a game against Mikal Bridges last year when he was in Brooklyn. He averaged 35 a game against him. No, they don't.
And
So
they got
wait,
Mikal
wait,
and
wait.
OG.
Hold on. We're talking
OG.
about Jayson Tatum scoring because
Yeah,
Jayson
let's-
Tatum's not the best scorer in this series.
Okay, so with
Jaylen
that being
Brunson.
said, one of the guys that you talked about being the answer for Jayson Tatum, who, by the way, is one of the better defenders in the league in Mikal Bridges. Jayson Tatum torched him last year.
That's OG's
Torched him.
matchup, chill. That's OG's
Okay.
Yeah,
matchup.
but the Brooklyn defense is different to what the Knicks are going to have.
Right.
So he's going to get more help for
So
sure.
with that being said, I'm glad you brought up defense. So now defense leads to offense. So if you think about what does the Knicks offense looks like compared to the Celtics defense, can they score with the Celtics?
That's what I don't like. I
Who,
feel
by
like
the
the Knicks
way,
only
this is
have
the
one
number one
advantage
offense
to
in the
the
league
Knicks.
last year. Can their defense hold down the number one offense and score on top of
No,
that?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't.
This
think so.
is my thing.
It's all
This
independent
is
on Julius
simple.
Randle, in my opinion.
And that's what I'm saying. That's 100% where I'm at with it. It's predicated on Julius. But let's say best case scenario, Julius is ready to buy in and play his role. I think the Knicks guard the Celtics better than the Celtics guard the Knicks. And Julius, and when y'all say they only got one scorer, like Julius can put the
I
ball
said
in the basket.
advantage creators. That's what I said.
Advantage creators. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, what we got a bunch of advantage creators over in Boston. That's what we got now.
Well, yeah, but because they got a bunch of guys. They got a bunch of guys who can drive, kick, create. Mikal is Mikal's an off-ball player, so like you need to get guys who can create for him. OG is an off-ball player, and then you got Dante is an off-ball player.
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen is an on-ball, heliocentric, ball-dominant player, and Julius is the X factor because his physical imposition, especially down low, means Jayson Tatum's going to have to bang down low, or Jaylen Brown. He's too big for Drew and Derek White, and you don't want to put a big on him because then Mitchell Robinson's going to clean up everything around the rim. Julius is entirely depends on what Julius Randle can impose on Boston's defense. Because if you go back to the finals, the Boston versus Dallas, they let Luka and Kyrie go one-on-one without oversending help. The reason I was able to be effective is because they attack from the perimeter. If you have Julius Randle as that low post presence, which is what he was doing more of this past year, with shooters around him, you're probably going to have to commit towards him if he can score efficiently. Now, if he can't score efficiently, you then rely on Jalen Brunson being your sole advantage creator. Because if Julius isn't commanding doubles and he's scoring inefficiently and his defense is questionable, you might get to a point where you can't have Julius out there and you just have to commit to pace and space. Jalen Brunson, Dante, Mikal, OG, Mitchell Robinson. You might have to commit to that if Julius becomes a problem. If Julius is at Julius level, they have a shot.
If Tibbs do some coaching, though, if Tibbs do some coaching, and like we said, if Julius buys into the system, right? But then you gotta switch up. You gotta make adjustments coaching, right? When they play Boston, that's when we kind of like, wait, Julius, smash. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. I know we said I want you to shoot 10, 11 shots. Not right now, Julius. We're giving you that ball in the mid post and whoever's guarding. I think Julius.
He should be able to take advantage of Tatum.
I think
he should be.
Tatum
Theoretically.
Tatum who starts at the floor.
Jayson Tatum better stay far away from Julius Randle on that block, Ron. Don't roll your eyes at me, Chill. He's cooking Jayson Tatum on that block. You know that, Chill.
I'm not saying that he's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. Physically, it's a mismatch.
Yes,
right?
physically, right.
100% it's a mismatch. But when I think about how the Celtics play, where they spread you out, okay, Ox, you brought in Mikal Bridges. You now have OG Anunoby. Both of those guys on the wing. But the rest of the guys, with Jaylen Brunson being as small as he is, the Celtics do a great job in hunting mismatches. There are mismatches out here. Julius Randle is one of those mismatches where we can get Julius Randle on the wing matched up against Jayson Tatum, where we can get Julius Randle mismatched against Jaylen Brown, who doesn't do a lot with the basketball, but does enough where he can get to the rim. Also, we also have the X factor which is Porzingis, where we're definitely hunting those mismatches all day. He's going after Mitchell Robinson. Who's
going after Mitchell Robinson?
Mitch got
Porzingis. He's going to go after
going after Mitchell Robinson.
They're going to put him.
KP isn't going after Mitchell Robinson. Who does
100% he is going to go after?
Fellas,
I got to step in and read this super chat. I got a $25 super chat
a host
from my man.
Oh my God, a host.
Name Slickback. He said, man, cut the crap. I'm with Chill. The Celtics have made the Eastern Conference Finals 4 out of the last 6 years. The level of disrespect for the Celtics championship is almost similar to the 2015 Warriors.
Oh my
They are in
gosh.
another tier above the Knicks.
From a
Nobody
talent,
cares about what they did 4 years ago. We're talking about
Do
this
you
year
see
coming
how
up.
Chill's eyes light up when you talk about his precious Celtics? How his face looks so
Wait,
innocent.
But I think it's
And
fair
I
to say they
love
are
the
above
Celtics
the
too.
Knicks.
I don't care,
Okay,
Mars.
first-
You're
first-
the
first and
contrarian.
foremost,
Stay out of this conversation.
How am I a contrarian for saying the
They are
Celtics
not.
are
They
a
are
tier
not
above the
being
Knicks?
slandered.
That's
They're
the
not being
opposite
slandered
of a
as of
contrarian opinion.
2015.
and on top of that, I'm not a Celtic guy.
Yes, you
Jayson
are.
Tatum.
Stop it.
Jason Tatum.
You're a
is my
Celtics
guy.
fan now. What do you mean,
No,
your guy?
I'm a
You know, you
Celtics
kind of
fan.
are a Celtics guy.
You are a Celtics
kinda
guy.
are.
You are the Celtics guy of the show because Jack hasn't come back. I'll run, by the way. Not bringing back Jack after Boston winning chip is crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
Do you
Well,
guys have Jack's number?
That's crazy work.
How'd you give him in the first place?
Hey,
But let's stay on
That's
topic
crazy
here.
work.
I'm not a Celtics fan.
Chill goes back in age 20 years when you talk about the Celtics. Put him on the screen again, Ron. Watch. Bring up Jayson Tatum and the Celtics. Put him on the screen again. See, look at his face. Look at his face. Look at his.
Chill. Hey, chill. Jason Tatum had a good game last night.
Yeah, he did. He got busy. Yes, sir, he did.
Hey, chill.
Oh,
Derek
yeah.
White's on the way.
Yes, he is.
It's 3 Olympians.
Yes, he is. So, but to your point, Swiper, Coach Mazzulla puts KP in positions where he goes after guys. He did it with Tyler Hero when they get him in switches. He did it with who am I thinking? Derek Lively. He did it with guys like that where we put him in action where he can go after people. And I don't see any issue with KP going after Mitchell Robinson. I don't see any issue with that whatsoever. He's a stretch 5. They don't have a stretch 5. You drag him away from the basket. Now that weakens the Knicks rebounding. Not only does it weaken their rebounding
with this rant.
Not only does it weaken their rebounding, it also weakens their interior defense when you got a guy like KP dragging that big fella away from the rim. So now you got guys like Jaylen Brown being able to go downhill a little bit more.
Okay, what about
Jason
the other
Tatum
end when we dragged him away from the rim? What about that?
One more time.
They got rim protectors on the roster. They're good.
They got Mitchell Robinson on the roster.
They got OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, length.
Am I really afraid of Mitchell? I'm sorry. Am I really afraid of OG Anunoby at the rim? I'm not.
Better defender than any of the wings on the.
If you're a
Celtics?
guard,
If I'm Jaylen Brown, I'm not tripping on OG Anunoby at the rim. I'm not.
he should be. Well,
I'm not.
Well,
If I'm Jason Tatum, I'm not
I
tripping
get
on
what
OG
you're saying.
Anunoby at the rim. I'm not.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying as far as not tripping about it, but he's still going to
They'll have
be there.
Jalen Brunson at the rim. Boston they do a great job of putting the people they want at the rim. Like we just watched them have
It's
Kyrie
called hunt and miss
as help defense for a whole series. We watched them do that, and then Jason Kidd had to come up with a way to keep Derek Lively at the rim. So he ended up just basically having Derek Lively play a one-man zone around the paint. But that's what Boston do. So it's not OG's going to meet him at the rim because the way Boston are going to align their offense is going to have Jalen Brunson at the rim. And then Tom Thibodeau is going to have to counter that, and we'll see what he does. But that's what they're going to do. It's not just going to be, OG's going to play help side. That's not what they're going to do. Boston's not going to allow that to happen.
You can scheme that if you want to, Mars. If Tim schemes that way to have him be there, then that's what will happen. You know what I'm saying?
But then you're giving up advantages elsewhere in order to do that,
right? And that's how basketball works. You're going to have to give up something.
Okay.
You have to,
and that's
because you're reacting.
Pick your poison. Yeah. Pick your poison.
Right. And but I'm saying like for Chill to just act like OG is just not the unit that he is. Like nobody. They might not be like, oh my God, it's OG. I'm not going in there. I mean, I don't expect that from Jaylen and Jayson. I'm sure they still go to the rim, but it's not like you're just gonna walk past OG or Mikal. None of these guys. Like if you ask me with the personnel the Knicks have, the Knicks have. No, I can't say that because of Drew Holiday and Derek White. But the defense.
Respect Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart.
Sure. I am respecting Josh Hart on defense, especially and Dante. I am. And that's what I'm saying. I think the personnel on defense, I have to actually give the edge to the Knicks. Now from there, it's all about coaching and scheming. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to have the better scheme? Who's going to do the better job? But personnel wise, I give the edge to the Knicks. I do.
So Ox, you got Bridges, Randall, Mitchell Robinson, Jalen Brunson,
and OG,
DiVincenzo,
Mikal,
Josh Hart, OG, Mikal. So that's 7 guys. I said DiVincenzo. I want to make sure that I got this correct.
McBride.
Right. So we got Miles McBride. I want to make sure I want to make sure because I think they got 7-8 guys, right? And their rim protector is Mitchell Robinson. And with Mitchell Robinson being their rim protector, now you're dealing with guys on the perimeter like Mikal Bridges, who I already told you, Jayson Tatum has his way with him. OG switches onto him. Jaylen Brown also can get to the rim on him. Your issue is those guys not being able to get around them. My issue is once they get around them, which they've shown that they could get to the rim with the best of teams. They've shown that. Once they do that, who is at the rim protecting the rim? Because again, KCP is going to drag Mitchell Robinson away from the basket. That's the way that offense is predicated.
KP. You said KCP, but
I'm sorry.
You said KCP.
I apologize. KP is going to drag Mitchell Robinson away from the rim. That's the way that offense is designed, where KP plays the stretch five, where he plays at the mid post. I'm sorry, in the mid range. When he does that,
Where's
now
Julius Randle? What is he doing on the court?
Julius Randle is on the. Well,
Is he helping defensively at all? Like, is he just not? Is just what's he doing?
Julius Randle is helping defensively, 100% he is, but he's
yeah,
not.
It depends
helping.
on if he's getting shots. If he's helping
Right.
defensively.
And on top of that, Julius Randle as a rim protector, he's more of a dirty work guy in terms of rebounding. Julius Randle isn't much of a rim protector. I'm thinking about you guys stopping them getting to the rim once KP brings Mitchell Robinson away from the basket. Because I feel like Jaylen Brown can get around anybody. I feel like Jayson Tatum can get around anybody. Drew Holiday can get to the basket on Jalen Brunson, but the fact that they spread these guys out so far, that hampers the Knicks rebounding offensively and defensively.
All right, chill.
I don't know why it's being looked at like Chill was the one arguing for the underdog here. But
I don't think you're tripping at all. I get your points. I get your points 100%. I just gotta respect Tibbs' ability to scheme against Mitch Robinson having to chase KP way out there. Like he doesn't have to do that. There's matchup zones. There's all types of ways we can go away from that. Now, if we're gonna play lazy defense and just straight man to man, you only stay with your man, you don't go here, you don't help, then fine, you're 100% right. But I would like to respect Tibbs and his coaching staff enough to think that they're not going to be playing a barbaric style of basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like we can play matchup zones, we can switch.
Who are they trading?
If I see you going to there, we can talk. Like you go, I'm not Mitch. You don't go. And it's certain things you can do. Coach got to coach, man. Coach got to coach.
How many first round picks did they have available?
Who?
Knicks.
Are you talking about trading Julius?
Oh no, they gave them all up to get
all the way.
All right, y'all. Back to the super chats.
We're just going to give KP wide open 3. See, that's not what I said.
Snowbirds Sneakers said dub panel, dub conversation. Dub Snowbird Sneakers.
That's where the host comes in to keep that conversation going. That's the job.
He's done a better job of it today since we called him out because Omar was cooking him. Yeah, good job, first.
Shout out Omar getting me back on my toes.
Doing your job, bro.
I was falling.
He's just making you a better host.
I was falling asleep at the wheel. My bad.
Get on your job, Ron.
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back.
See, Ron. Some people are uncoachable, Ron. And some people wouldn't have took that positive criticism and got better, man. Shout out Omar for being a good coach.
I almost
shout out too.
But I've been doing better though. I've been doing better.
Mm-hmm.
Teflon Gunsmoke said opinions on Jaylen Brown calling out Nike. I see everybody's getting called out. Nike, I can feel with you.
About the Team USA stuff? He basically just said, was that what it was? Or
previous tweet he said, when did Nike care about ethics?
But that was a long time ago, right? That was with Kyrie's situation. So bringing up that or about the fact that he didn't go on Team USA?
Well, I think they're bringing up that as to why he didn't make Team USA. So,
possibly.
I mean,
it's possible.
Maybe he didn't want to play for Team USA.
He did want to play for Team. It seemed pretty clear he wanted to play.
I think he's still tweeting.
He should be playing.
I think not the concern. The issue I have is him. I understand if he did want to be there and he's not. It's unfortunate. Him being this vocal about it when the person who made it instead of you was your teammate.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm like, I can understand the human element of I should be here. look what I've done this year, blah blah blah. But when your teammate is the one who took your spot, being this like aggrieved, I don't know if that's a word. By it is like I can understand why that could come across as a bit concerning.
Mars, but it's not just one teammate. It's two teammates.
Yeah, but I'm saying because Derek White was the replacement. Drew and Jayson.
He won Eastern Conference Finals MVP and Finals MVP, and 3 of his teammates are on the team.
It's insane. It doesn't. To me, it's crazy. Jaylen Brown should 100% be on this team, and I don't even excluding Ant in terms of the guards, excluding Ant and Steph. I don't think none of those wings should be on there over Jaylen Brown. And
I don't see agree, Mars.
And we talked about Chill. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about just being glue guys and fit and whatnot. I think Jaylen Brown provides all of that. I think he provides good enough defense. I think he provides good enough just athleticism. I think he provides good enough shooting. I think he provides good enough intangibles. Jaylen Brown's an intelligent guy. He's not. He doesn't have an ego. He's not going to be a locker room cancer. I think Jaylen Brown 100% deserves to be on this team.
Yes, he did.
I don't think he made
it. No, he didn't. No, I thought you meant Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, because he spoke about it and he was like, I'm used to being
That's right.
Last year.
I mean, y'all got to think about who Jaylen Brown is. Jaylen Brown is a smart brother, you know what I'm saying? Well-educated brother. You know, he's a deep thinker. He talks about political things. He's the exact opposite of what the NBA wants. You know what I mean?
He won't just shut up and dribble, basically.
Right. He's not going to shut up and dribble. And I respect Mikal for that. But y'all gotta remember this is the Olympics. And the last thing that America needs right now is black athletes speaking up at the Olympics about political injustices and things like that. Which I'm 100% against. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with that. I wish, because we're supposed to have freedom of speech and all that.
But I don't think that's true either.
We're supposed to have
LeBron and Drew both have a history.
Well, I mean, not.
Yeah, but LeBron would never call out Nike. In fact, he did the opposite.
LeBron's not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like this, you can say what you want to say about LeBron, but LeBron is a politician. He knows when to speak up and he knows when to not. You know what I'm saying? LeBron, that made a big deal when old girl told him to shut up and dribble, but we know Bron is for sure the type that will shut up and dribble. Jaylen Brown, yes, he will. He does. LeBron's not going to talk up against his money.
Yeah, he'll LeBron is the issue.
So y'all can act like LeBron is some black nationalist freedom fighter, but he is when it's time to be, and he's not when it's time to be. Okay, we can for sure agree on that. Right?
That sounds like a front runner to me.
Well, yeah,
it sounds like someone who understands the bottom line is his pockets more. Like
exactly.
Yeah,
Bron's not going to speak up against his money. You know what I'm saying? And that's fine. Whatever. I don't knock.
Yeah, I'm not telling him to lose money. I'm just saying.
I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But for Jaylen Brown, I think Jaylen Brown will. And I don't think that the NBA or the Olympics, whoever the people at the head of the Olympics, not just the NBA. I'm not talking about Grant Hill and all them. I'm talking about whoever is the Olympic committee person for the America. Probably like, well, we don't want that. That's just like back in the 70s when they held up the fish and stuff, and it was a big thing. Jaylen Brown, one of them type brothers. You know what I'm saying? So I can see why he's not. It ruined a lot of people's careers.
It ruined his career, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? And so like we got, keep it real. And I think that's wrong. And Jaylen Brown, as far as skill set, how good he is and who he is, y'all know how I feel about JB. He definitely should be on the squad. But I mean, come on, man. It's an election year. Come on, Spike.
On top of that, don't leave that part out. That's very important to mention it.
I mean, I can agree with Bron about the like the Nike stuff, but I guess the election stuff. I mean, he's been pretty anti-Trump very vocally, but for sure I understand that.
Doesn't affect his money.
I think Drew Holiday too. Drew Holiday, but again, Drew's different. Drew's more on the quiet side. He's more of like an actionable person, so he's done a lot obviously in the community. But yeah, I think JB is obviously being like, I think it's crazy personally that if I'm on my team and I just won a championship and I just won Finals MVP and I just won Eastern Conference Finals MVP and I play on the same team as 3 of these other dudes that are on the team, and 2 of them are definitively worse players than I am, and I'm arguably the same level of defender as them, period. If I need to be, if I need to lock in, yeah, he of course he believes that. Of course, he took the Luka matchup.
Okay.
He also took the Luka matchup.
Hey, Morris, it's close enough.
So I think that's the thing. He's a better scorer than both of those dudes. Yeah, I think he absolutely should believe that he should be on the team, and I think he's right to feel that way.
So did we
100%?
Did we feel the same way when Chauncey Billups won Finals MVP in 2004 and didn't make the Olympic team?
Well, that team's. I mean, that team was so weird though. That whole situation. And
So what about in 2008?
I think that team's pretty comparable
Well,
to this. Pistons team.
no, chill. You're right, but
What
Was
about
Ben
in
Wallace on
2000?
that team?
What about in 2008 when Paul Pierce won the Finals MVP and he didn't make the Olympic team? Were we saying the same thing?
who won it over him? Who won it over him? I mean,
won what?
who's on the team over Michael
Bro,
Redd?
what's that look for? You know,
Michael
Paul Pierce is
Redd,
better than
Tayshaun
Jaylen
Prince
Brown.
on that team, Carlos Boozer.
Yeah, but I mean, respect. Paul Pierce was. I mean,
Tayshaun Prince was
the
on that
worst.
team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to be disrespectful.
Well,
Pierce was.
chill.
Well, then
Chillin',
don't
oh.
disrespect Paul Pierce if you don't want to. You don't have to.
No, I'm just saying. Like, I mean, I don't. Paul Pierce was at that time. I know people thought he's better than Melo. I get in his career. I do believe, but like Melo, LeBron, who were the rest of the wings in that roster in 08?
KD. No, KD was
KD wasn't there
on
yet.
that. KD
Was
wasn't on
Paul
that team in
Pierce
08.
in low? Was Paul Pierce in lower standing in the
Was
NBA?
he hurt? And was Paul Pierce hurt at all? Did he say no?
I don't know.
I don't
know that stuff.
Paul Pierce
Was Paul
go ahead.
Pierce in lower standing in the NBA in 08 than Jaylen Brown is now?
In
I'm not gonna lie to you. He wasn't loved.
He was in year.
wasn't
He
loved
was in
like
year
that.
10.
When I mean lower standing, I mean in terms of where he stood in the NBA.
Like what kind of player
Like,
was
remember what
that?
Paul Pierce was a top
Draymond-
12 players. Jaylen Brown.
Remember what Draymond said about him? He said, "You ain't Kobe." He wasn't Melo. He wasn't Melo. He wasn't KD. He wasn't none of them. None of us looked at
Jaylen
Paul
Brown
Pierce
isn't
like that.
KD, LeBron.
Who's none of us? Swiper?
Just so
Did you think he was on Melo's level?
Okay,
I mean,
so-
I'm just asking.
Yes,
Joey.
I'm
hell
asking
yeah.
Joey.
What?
so we're clear.
Not me at all.
I wouldn't be surprised if people were saying Paul Pierce is on Melo's level. I wouldn't be
He was an
surprised.
all-pro. He was an all-pro that year.
No, but I'm saying, bro, but like, but chill. You know, and when it came down to it, everybody was taking. I'm not saying everybody. Majority of people were taking Melo over Paul.
Of
Pierce.
course, that part I
1000%.
won't argue. I won't argue that Paul Pierce
Not
was in the
2008.
higher. Excuse me,
Bro,
Paul Pierce was in the
Melo
higher.
in 2008 after
Paul
the
Pierce was
AI.
definitely. Paul Pierce was in a higher. Not Paul Pierce. I'm sorry. Carmelo was considered in a higher regard than Paul Pierce during that time, off the strength. That
Paul
he was
Pierce
in
had
the
no
draft.
aura.
And I mean, if that's what we're doing, the glow, right? The aura, all of that sort of stuff. But I can't dismiss the fact. I don't know how Ox feels about Paul Pierce, but I can't dismiss the fact that Paul Pierce was playing at an all-pro elite level. So the fact that he did not make the Olympic team, I don't even think he was considered for the Olympic team at that point. I don't even think he was even in question for the Olympic team, because I think he was on that FIBA team that lost to Puerto Rico in 05 or 06. I think he was on that team that lost to Puerto Rico, and then that was it for him.
He never had no
Meanwhile, this
legacy
dude-
on the Olympic stuff. Man. Never.
Meanwhile, he wins the Finals MVP. Wins the Finals MVP in 08 against the Lakers, by the way.
And put it on Kobe too.
But
Nobody-
KG and them didn't make that team. Did they in 08?
Well, no, KG was
No,
not
no.
on.
That's what I'm saying. Remember a lot of those players that were on those 4 teams, or it's just similar to the '96 Olympics. Like there was like a lot of one-timers on both of those teams, and they just didn't transfer over. Duncan could have been there. Duncan wasn't there. I mean, there's a lot of people that did not play on those teams. So I feel like it had something to do with Paul Pierce, the reason why he wasn't on that team. Good Tayshaun, he was considered a high-level role player, really good defender, but he didn't play a whole lot. And then Michael Redd was just the sniper shooter. He didn't play a whole lot. I don't even know. Did we have a rookie in the 08 team show?
No, we didn't.
Nah, but chill.
Second year guy. That was Chris Paul.
Chill. To answer your question, though, Paul Pierce should have 100% been on that team, and Chauncey Billups should have 100% been on the 2014,
Let me see.
and Jaylen Brown should have 100% be on this team.
But sometimes it's just about, because on most Olympic teams, you're gonna have guys who are gonna not play very often. Derek White's probably one of those guys for this year's team. Is Jaylen Brown okay with playing 7 minutes a game? Because someone's gonna have to do it. Is Jaylen Brown fine? Like, we don't know. I'm not saying he's not.
That's
But I'm saying I'm like certain Derek White is.
That's why I feel
Like,
like Derek
oh
White
wait,
was the best
Carlos
fit.
Boozer was one of those guys. He's not coming off the bench. He's barely playing. Michael Redd barely playing. Tayshaun Prince barely playing. If Jaylen Brown's coming in as a replacement, it's reasonable to assume. Reasonable, because he's a replacement. He was on
He's
the
gonna want to play.
It's reasonable to assume he's there as the Finals MVP, as the Conference Finals MVP,
He's gonna-
expecting to play.
Yes.
But it's reasonable to assume USAB, who didn't pick him up the first time, are viewing him as
Here it is. By the way,
a
Mars.
12th man.
Paul
That's
Pierce
fine.
had a right knee injury that he suffered during game one of the NBA Finals. He said he's still not 100%. And then he said he doesn't want to see. He doesn't know how many more NBA seasons he have. Don't want to risk injuries on the Olympic stage, and so
he
therefore
decided not to
declined
play.
declined
So it was him
work
choosing-
playing on the team, which I figured what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to Tayshaun Prince taking Paul Pierce spot. Yeah, nice.
But Jaylen Brown wants to play, and he's healthy, and he's fully activated, and he can play in the game. He can play every game, every minute if he needs to. He's in really good shape too.
Yeah, I agree with that. But with Team USA, do Team USA need him to play?
That's the thing that's what my issue is.
Why would you bring someone who's
because of what Jaylen Brown had, because of what Jaylen Brown does? We already have guys who do that. We already have guys who do what he does, right? So because we already have guys who do what he does, I said this to Ox yesterday. Who are my piano movers? Where are my other piano movers? Drew Holiday, Derek White. Man. Those are my piano movers. Jaylen Brown is not a piano mover. No, he is not.
Tripping. What do you mean? Jaylen Brown was a piano mover in the finals.
Okay, he was a piano mover in that specific finals.
If you ask him to do it, I will say this about Jaylen. Just stick up for JB. Because I've never talked loud on JB, but I'll stick up for JB here. JB has consistently, Chill, you told me if I'm tripping, throughout his career, whenever they have asked him to do something, he has done it to the best of his ability. You don't hear anything about him complaining. He doesn't go on these long rants. He doesn't go to interviews and take shots at people, post-game press conferences. You haven't heard about him being a cancer at all. So I think in this instance, Chill, if you said, JB, we need you to give us 10 to 12 of the best minutes of your life defensively and hitting corner threes, he would say 100% coach.
I think that he would in that aspect. He had a problem early on with the Celtics. Like he felt like they were holding him back because of like when Kyrie Irving showed up, when Kemba Walker showed up. He did feel like that they were holding him back. He's on record saying that was going on because he thought that he was better and he wanted to be better. Now here we are in the NBA Finals where he plays as well as he possibly could play, and he wins the Finals MVP and the Eastern Conference Championship MVP. If he gets on this Olympic team, he's not going to look at these guys. Don't get me wrong. I think he is a consummate team guy, but I have a difficult time with the logic that a Finals MVP and an Eastern Conference Finals MVP and an NBA champion would get on a team where they would ask him,
Jayson Tatum is coming off the bench, though.
I only need like 10 minutes from you.
But Jayson Tatum is coming off of the bench, and he just won the Finals.
I think Jayson Tatum I think he is not just him, but I think that him, Anthony Edwards, I think guys like that, I think they're the future of USA basketball.
So is JB, though. So is JB. He can be right there with him.
How old is Jaylen Brown? 27?
27.
Yes, he's 27 years old.
So he's got
8 more years.
So the next Olympics will be 31. Years,
let's say.
So the next Olympics
he'll be in his prime.
And they're going to be calling him during the next Olympics.
Yeah, I'd expect Jaylen Brown to be on the next Olympic team, unless like there's a bunch of people who
barring any injuries or somebody makes.
And if anything, Chill, if we're having 100% honest conversation,
I hope you say no.
Since we want to be in this conversation, since we want to talk about all this ethics and all this other stuff,
sure.
Anthony Edwards, he's young. He didn't got dumb stuff he's said before.
I think he's also the future.
He's been in some dirt. That's cool, but JB.
Send the tape ain't political though. Send the video.
No. He said something.
The other stuff he said. So I'm saying if we're doing all that, I mean, for me, JB got a cleaner record than him. I mean, I'm saying, but I think I'm not using that. I'm saying I'm not using. Yeah, right. I'm just saying for me, I don't want to use that other stuff as a reason.
That's not a reason why he's not on the crew. No, I don't think
JB isn't on the roster.
Politics
what I'm
plays
saying.
a part.
It does, Mars, but I don't think
we can say we don't want to use it, but like we can acknowledge that stuff is very real. That people
100% it is. I won't argue that. No, I will not argue that it does. But I don't think in this particular situation, I don't think that's the issue. I think that the way that this team is constructed, I think that they already have what they need in order to win. Now, don't get me wrong. Having 3 of your teammates on the Olympic team, whom some people think at least 2 of them you better than, for you not to be on an Olympic team, I could get with that. But for what they need and the way this team is constructed, Jaylen Brown isn't necessarily necessary on this crew.
That's not true. That didn't make any sense for me because if he's a better basketball player than these other dudes,
that's the problem, though.
No, hold on.
I'm sorry.
He's better than Derek. He's better than Drew. And again, if you're telling me that I got to focus, we just had this conversation in the first 30 minutes. Kamar brought up a salient point about you have too much offensive responsibility. Therefore, you cannot be the level of defender a lot of these other guys can be. If you're telling me that JB can scale back offensively and scale up defensively, I can do just as good of a job as Drew Holiday and as Derek White.
Thank you, Swiper.
1,000.
I'm sure that's how he feels. Yeah, I'm sure that's how he feels.
You don't think he can?
I don't think.
Like I'm saying, like if he had to focus on that for 10 minutes, you don't think he could do that?
I don't think he'd be as good at defensively as Derek White, but I think he would be a great defensive player. Yeah, but I don't think he would be as good as Derek White, and I also don't think he shoots off the catch as well as Derek
I don't
White.
think you give Derek White nearly enough credit, Swiper, for what he
No.
does.
In the regular season, I gave him plenty.
Here's the difference, Swiper. I think you're looking at Derek White as just a defender and not the utility guy that he is.
I know what he is. I'm agreeing with you, but I think that's disingenuous to JB. That's not his role within the team. And he has shown that he can pass. He has shown he can drive. He has shown he can shoot. He has shown he can play defense.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
And three of those things, not as well as Derek White can do.
But here's my question.
Derek White just got bald head. So
here's my question, Mars. Mars, I've shown that. Here's the difference, Mars. I've actually shown, and Ron, I've actually shown that I can pass. I've actually shown that I can do all of these things. However, this other guy does those things because this is what I do on a consistent basis. When you show that you can do something, that means you just showing it to me right now. You haven't showed it to me consistently as this utility guy. Does that mean that you're not a better basketball player? No, that doesn't mean that. But for what we need, this guy has shown me that on a consistent basis, this is what he does, and this is what we need for this crew. That's it.
All right, y'all. Moving along. ZKJ said, Swiper's doing the Lord's work, debating those inbreds in green on Twitter, putting hashtag him in combos he doesn't belong in. The new convo is BITW.
Best
LOL. Best in the world.
So I'm assuming Swiper was debating Boston fans.
Dan Greenberg, Barstool, like, these are people that I've been interacting with for years. They're going on this thing where they're like, like Tatum's the best in the world or Tatum's clear cut, this and that. But again, we were having conversation. I'd just be dialoguing. Like, it wasn't even.
That's the pizza dude.
Let me see. Who is this? Let me see.
Dan Greenberg. That's the dude that does the one bite, the pizza. He ranks the pizzas and stuff.
That is Dan Greenberg, Stool Greeny, Celtics NBA for Barstool. I don't know.
I'm gonna Google Dan Greenberg pizza and see if something comes up.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But look, he's a huge Boston fan, and all that really happened. Literally all that happened was we were just having a conversation about like something that had to do with like Tatum getting whatever. And so I responded. But what happens is when you respond to Celtics fans, they then move into this thing. Well, JT, he did 30, so why is he not on the same level? Oh, and then they said he was better than 2014 Steph. Could they look at the numbers? And I'm just
who's better than 2014 Steph?
Huh?
Who's better than 2014 Steph?
This last year, JB was better than 2014
JB or
MVP
JT?
Steph. JT was better than 2014 Steph.
Well, I had to debate on here that Steph was a top 10 player in 2014, so it's not. Yeah.
Hey, 2014
Mark,
Steph, this JT, I don't hate that swipe. I do not hate that.
All right, you cannot hate it all you want. You're wrong.
I can't say I completely agree. I just don't hate it.
I don't see anything about Dan Greenberg and pizza other than he owns a pizza.
It's the other guy. It's Dave. It's Dave.
That's the year.
So the conversation.
14 season.
Yeah, the year before
his MVP year when he's
so we're saying 14-15 or 13-14?
Or 13-14.
He's talking about the 14-15, the year he won MVP.
Yeah, he's out of his mind.
Oh,
he's absolutely out of his mind.
Wait, how much better do you think?
Because people brought up the stats that he averaged 24, 6 and 5 or whatever that year, and JT averaged 30 or 27, 8 and 6 on 37% from three. Therefore, and he's a better defender. Therefore, this and that, and it's just like, all right, we're just stat watching at this point. Because then what happened was, I asked a question about JB, like how many games did JT outplay Brown in the finals? I think all of us up here said one definitively. Some people said maybe two, but one definitively. And then he said both were great, blah, blah, blah. Jalen's efficiency and on-ball defense. Tatum's game 5 was historic because he had 30 points and 10 assists.
No, it wasn't historic.
I don't agree with historic.
I know, but these are Boston Celtics fans. I'm talking about.
That happens when they were up 20.
I know. But then he said only one of 5 people ever closed out of NBA Finals with 30 and 10 or whatever. And I'm like, okay, and I said his third quarter was great. He's a top 10 player for a reason. And I said he's a top 10 player, Chill. And the response was, I'm not sure why you're having such a hard time accepting that you simply been wrong about Jayson Tatum. When Jokic did this, led this points in the finals, in points, rebounds, and assists, you called him the best in the world. But Tatum does it. He's a top 10 player. I'm like, it's not the damn same.
No, those things are not the same.
That's what I'm saying.
We're talking about 14-15, the year Steph won, right?
Yeah, he won the MVP.
Well, wait, swiper. I take it back. I'm sorry. thought you meant 13, 14.
But
Because
was
14,
Steph just
15
much
after
better?
Steph. Well, bro, I'm gonna tell you the truth, Mars. After I saw that run, and even after they won, Ron was there. I was saying some things about Steph that
if y'all send through the right super chat, I'll tell you exactly what I said. But I ain't just gonna air my man out for nothing.
Steph changed my. At that point, I was like, "What is going on right now?" I couldn't believe what I was seeing, bro. I take that completely back.
Okay.
Give me Steph. I thought you meant 14. Like
15.
Wait, you take back the 14, 15 or 13, 14, or you take back
13,
what you
14.
said at that moment in time about Steph?
No, I meant it when I said it, but I was tripping. I was tripping.
I was
Look,
high.
and then to finish it out, Dan, again, my friend Dan, he said he led one of the greatest teams in NBA history in pretty much every metric, then won the title on a 16-3 run while leading his team in points, rebounds, and assists. Suggesting that someone did all that and made 3 straight All-NBA first teams isn't top 5. Nobody's top 5. To which I'm like, all right, if you think Tatum is definitively better than 4 of Jokic, Embiid, Giannis, Luka, SGA, Durant, LeBron, and AD, then that's on you. I don't think he's definitively better than 4 of those dudes. I know he's not better than 4 of them. He's not definitively better than the other 4. So that's the tier he's in. That's what I'm saying, Chill. That's where my thing comes in. Because if you just say, well, he has the stat accumulation, or he has this point, rebounds, and assists. Luka just led the playoffs in points, rebounds, and assists. Nobody's saying he's the best player in the world.
There's some people are, but
sure.
I think on paper, with everything JT's done since the first finals run, like that was his first year making All NBA first team.
22.
Yeah, so you got All NBA first team, go to the finals, averaging, I don't know, 27 or so. Then the next year, All NBA first team, go to the conference finals, nearly complete a 3-0 comeback. You get hurt on the first play of game 7, but you're in the conference finals, losing a game 7. Then All NBA first team again. This time you go to the championship, win the championship, lead the team in points, rebounds, and assists throughout the playoffs, lead them in points, rebounds, and assists in the conference finals, I believe, or points, rebounds, was like seconds and assists. Lead them in points, rebounds, assists in the finals. Don't win finals MVP or conference finals MVP in either of those series, albeit because of some efficiency issues and big moments from Jaylen Brown against Indiana. I'm not saying he was robbed. I'm just saying you do all of that, and then you got to hear someone who's constantly hurt in the playoffs, someone who's never gone to the conference finals, someone who constantly plays worse in the playoffs is still better. I can understand why Jayson Tatum guys are going to be upset about that, or why it feels like it's a different standard for him. Now, for me, I just think there's guys who are just better than him. But I can understand with everything Jayson Tatum has done and achieved and how he gets, like, he's gotten better on defense from 22 to 23 to 24.
Not the same player he was.
He's got better on defense every year. He's become a better rebounder. He's become a much better playmaker and decision maker. This was probably one of the only playoffs where his jump shot wasn't falling, so the efficiency suffered. But he's undoubtedly become a better player than he was 2 years ago, while being All NBA first team the whole time, while getting further in the playoffs than he has before, achieving more than he has before, and it's still not enough. I can feel why, like, the guys on the Jayson Tatum side of things will feel like, what more do I have to do at this point? I can understand why they would feel like that.
And to your point, Mars, it's a double-edged sword, because if he gets busy, if that efficiency is better, in addition to everything else he did, where his distribution is better, his playmaking is better, his defense is better. If he does all of those things, in addition to now them winning, you was on a bomb squad. That's the only reason why y'all did it.
No, chill.
Yes, you were on a bomb squad.
That's such a
and
bad
I don't
narrative.
mean I don't mean you specifically, but that's going to be the logic on him. You was on a bomb squad.
Can't you just
should've
play
won.
better? I mean, honestly, can you not just play better and then it's like no one can argue that you're top 3 or top 4? That's what it is. Luka was trash in the finals. Most people are not putting him outside top 4.
Trash is trash, but yeah.
Well, I'm saying trash defensively. Like I'm saying relative to Luka.
There's no question about Luka being a top 5 player.
Relative to Luka.
There's no question about him being a top 5 player.
Sure. SGA.
Meanwhile,
still good in the playoffs. Giannis hasn't been in the playoffs the last 2 years for real. Nobody's thinking about top 3 for real. Not for real.
Still a top 2 player in the world. Meanwhile,
but he got MVP season. He got MVP. That was 30, 10, 6.
They got different energy for different players, Swiper. You know how that goes.
That's what I'm saying.
And I don't think it's just I don't think it's just the different energy for different players. I told you this, Ox. I bet if that uniform said Portland Trailblazers, he'd be looked at a lot different. I bet
he would get more love if he was in a different market. That is true.
I bet you.
Well, I think it's for Boston. It's both. You wouldn't get as much love. You wouldn't get as much hate. I think you would get more love. You would get, because Boston media, again, Boston has the most media members of any market in the NBA.
Is that fact?
Oh, damn.
More than anybody.
That includes New York. That includes
the East Coast as a whole. So the Knicks and Boston, and then you got LA.
Right, Los
The
Angeles.
3 biggest markets have more than anybody. But then the biggest name, Bill Simmons and my boy
Bob Ryan,
Russillo, like all those dudes, they're all Boston dudes.
Sure.
So they have a very loud voice in this conversation, and they're the one pushing Tatum. They're the one pushing Tatum as like this top 3 player or whatever. So like you're gonna get that, but in Portland, you're just not gonna get like the national attention and the national love at the level, just because you're not gonna whatever. So you're not gonna get the level of hate. That's just the way hoops work, though. Mm-hmm. But I think the thing with Tatum is all those other dudes, they had to win, like have solidified MVP level seasons, multiple, to get in those kind of conversations where they're like top 3, top 4 type of. Even Luka was not making the playoffs or whatever. All right, that's what I'm saying.
I just watch at least those 4, the Giannis, Jokic, Luka, and Embiid. I just watched them. I'm like, they're just better than him. So like for me, everything he's achieving. Shout out to Boston, they're a great team. Shout out to him, he's a great player. Those 4 players are just better than him to me. So at best, he gets.
We've gone down this rabbit hole. I've gone down this rabbit hole with Mars a bunch of different times. I just don't think that between him and Luka, like Mars thinks Luka is a tier above him. I don't think the gap is that big between those guys. I don't. I think it's like this.
I think the gap's the other way.
Teflon Gunsmoke is chiming in on the conversation. He said Jayson Tatum doesn't score good, and we say he didn't play well. But Luka doesn't play a lick of defense, and we say he played great. That's why we be pissed.
I can understand.
Yeah, there's also an offensive bias, because like the same impact numbers that people look at for all the MVP stuff, Luka never scores well in those generally. Like his net
what do you mean?
Stuff.
I don't know if I understand.
Like when
like the on-off numbers and stuff.
When he's on the court,
is this the true shooting stuff that we're talking about?
No, true shooting is efficiency. Okay. On-off is like just how well Dallas play when Luka's not.
When he's on the court, he's not.
They don't fall off a cliff like. Denver
okay, I'm with you now.
And they're not like a dominant team when he's on the court either. It's like he's like a +6 relative around there, and it's
he grades out below James Harden did.
Right. So the thing with Luka is Luka will always have people on his side because of his offensive bias and his scoring and his play.
No. Luka, I could pull out Luka's vault. I think he was top 3 in vault. But his on-off differential. I spoke about that on Open Gym because I asked why people think that was the case, and I got a bunch of different answers about bench units and certain.
But if you ask some analysts, Mars, I asked them privately, a lot of them don't think he's that much of a winning player. They don't. They just don't think his game is that much of a winning type of system. But I think
that's how a lot of people feel about heliocentrism. That's just
right.
I can understand why people got Luka over JT. I can clearly see why they have it. Like it's not a problem to me. I just strongly disagree because there's just things in basketball that I don't.
No, he isn't sturdy. No, he is not. Please stop saying that. He is not clearly better than him. No, he isn't. Please stop saying that. That shit drives me crazy. No, he is not clearly better. That is just not true. He is not clearly better than him. That is not true.
I think Jayson Tatum's defense gets
underrated. Makes me crazy, man.
I think Jayson Tatum's defense gets underrated for the same reason old Jaylen Brown. Not Jaylen Brown this year was playing good off-ball defense, but old Jaylen Brown's defense got overrated. It was because on-ball defense is easier to recognize. Most people, like you say, who's a good defender? You're going to hear a bunch of guys who play point of attack, aggressive on-ball defense, and like off-ball isn't going to get paid much attention to. Jayson Tatum is a big part of the reason why Boston's defense was so good in the postseason. It's because of the versatility, what he provides, being able to guard fives, being able to switch, being able to be a great rebounder at his size, being able to match up with Daniel Gafford's and Derek Lively's and Miles Turner's and all of those guys. And then his ability to play in the gaps, play at the nail, his length, all of those things, like him being able to do all of those things make Boston's defense is a big reason why Boston's defense is good as it is. But it doesn't get noticed. The same reason like why some people still underrate Draymond Green's defense. Like if you're not locking up on the ball or you're not blocking a bunch of shots, it's like your defense is probably going to get underrated. Jayson Tatum is one of the 5 best wing defenders in the league, in my opinion. I don't actually have a spot for him.
This logic, when you say he's clearly better, the logic is based solely on Luka having the basketball. That's what it is. It's based solely on that. It's not based on anything else. It's Luka having the basketball in his hands. It's not anything else that he does. He's clearly better than Jayson Tatum with the basketball in his hands. That's what your logic is.
Chill.
He's that good with the basketball, though.
Which I won't argue. I think he's the best scorer in the game, Ron. I don't think that there's anybody in the game that scores the basketball easier than him. But to say, when you talk about all the other stuff, when you talk about all the other stuff, how he affects the basketball game, how like Mars just brought up, how he affects the ball game, how he affects weak side defending, how he affects distributing, how he affects rebounding, how he affects all of these other things, how he affects the game on the defensive end. He is not clearly a better basketball player than Jayson Tatum, which I hate arguing this basketball player logic because I've seen basketball players get outplayed. I've seen that and it makes me fucking nuts. I'm sorry.
So
you gotta think, Chill. Like what's more dangerous? Like if we're in a field, an open field, Chill, right? And I got a fully loaded any type of machine gun, AR, AK, whatever, and you got a grenade
launcher. No. Oh, how ironic! You got a grenade launcher.
Still, Ron, still. I'm the grenade launcher. You got to make sure you hit. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to get close. You know what I'm saying?
You don't have with the grenade launcher. I don't have to hit you right on the bullseye.
You got to get close. You got to get close. Look. I'm never
get close. I got to get within what 10 yards. I'm gonna get you before you. That's a big area. I mean, what do you got though? You said you got everything except the grenade launcher.
I didn't say I got everything. I got a.
You said you got a full arsenal.
No, I didn't say that. I don't need a full arsenal. Whatever. Let's not get too caught up in that. You know what I'm saying? He's a grenade launcher, right? He just throws grenades. That's it. He's just throwing grenades, dribbling the ball all day, throwing grenades. He's a very good scorer, Chill. I understand that. He is one of the best scorers I've seen. Like the way the ease and the disrespect he shows defense. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely got that. But other than that, it's just like Morris, that's how come he's not as impactful in those numbers as other people, because he's really not doing much more than that.
I think Jayson Tatum, I think, provides more schematic versatility than Luka does on both sides, of course. Because the way Luka plays, if his attack fizzles out, you're probably playing against the clock. Like more often than not, he can create a good shot for himself or for others. But if it doesn't work out, you're probably playing against the clock. You don't have an advantage, and now you're trying to rush a possession. Jayson Tatum, on the other hand, I think with the versatility he provides on the ball, off the ball, we'll get to defense. The utility he provides, being able to play out the post, come off screens, play off the ball, spot up. Then he can also initiate, which is something he developed. It gives you more options offensively. But I do think Jayson Tatum, in the situation he's in Boston right now, does a great job of hiding the flaws he has offensively. Theoretically, I mean, they still show out when his jump shot's not here. But I think it does a very good job of hiding the flaws he has. Whereas Luka, I think, can be a one-man offense unto himself. Whereas I don't think Jayson Tatum could do that. So then I think it comes down to, what do you value? The floor raising of Luka being able to command an offense by himself, create great looks for guys who need looks created for them. But then the better players you put around Luka, does he take away from them how much he needs the ball? Who would you rather have play next to who would you pick to play next to Luka above Jayson Tatum? More often than not, you're going to pick rim running bigs or role players. Whereas I think superstars maybe would prefer to play next to a guy like Jayson Tatum, because he's not going to take touches away from you. He's still going to provide that spacing off the ball. Defensively, you're not going to give up too much. Like you don't have to scheme away from Jayson Tatum. So I can understand like that being the approach. I just think the value of what Luka provides being that one-man offense. And I don't think his defense is as bad as it was in the postseason. I think he was hurt. So I'm not going to hold too much of that against him. I don't think he was 100%. His defense when he was healthy wasn't terrible this year. It wasn't terrible. I watched him. He was better on defense. Sure. We spoke about it October, November, December. Sure. His defense was better. He was giving more effort defensively. He was being able to stay in front of people. He then got hurt and his defense slipped. If his defense was genuinely as bad as it was in the postseason, especially the finals, I would have Luka lower than where I do. I just don't think he's that bad defensively. So that's where I guess I'm maybe not as low on him as other people.
Once the ball's, I just feel like once the ball's out of Luka's hands, he's just useless. Right? the ball's not in Luka's hands. I don't see the impact he brings to basketball.
I've seen Dallas use him as a screener a little bit. That was cool.
Fellas, we got to keep it pushing. I got more super chats. MP13 said, Ox, I heard you got to do some insane running for endurance before you even train for Muay Thai.
When I was doing it, we were doing all the training like in the place that the dojo, whatever you call it. You know what I'm saying? But mostly you got to get in good shape. Your core got to be strong because when Muay Thai, you're not supposed to really block. You got to kind of just eat that, like all the like core shots and stuff. You got to eat that. You block that, you get.
Well, swipe.
All
right, brother.
All right. So yeah, I guess you got to be in pretty good shape. I've never competed or nothing like that in Muay Thai. Like I've never been in a ring and fought like that, so I wouldn't know all that.
Right.
I just was training.
I'm
not getting my face kicked off my face.
That's what I was about to ask you, Ox. I'm a boxing fan. I'm not in the UFC and all that other stuff. What exactly is Muay Thai? What kind of style?
It's basically like a Thai version of kickboxing.
Okay.
So it's like kickboxing. But you like it really got me good with like my knees, elbows, you know how to doing that type of stuff. So it's really I was really doing it just kind of stay in shape. And, and we always got to make sure our hands are sharp. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you can protect yourself and protect your people. But I was doing it just to kind of stay in shape, and it was really cool for that. Like I liked it a lot.
Taquay White said, just so everyone is aware, an NBA team cannot stop a player from competing internationally per the NBA and FIBA agreement of 1990, which includes the Olympics.
So then why isn't Wiggins playing? Why isn't Wiggins playing in the NBA in the Olympics?
Mutual agreement. That's what he's saying.
Mutual agreement.
Wiggins had to agree with Golden State.
Right.
Golden State couldn't just tell him no. He would have to be no. Yeah, I don't really want to play either. Fair. That's what it would have to be.
I got it.
Okay.
Sanji said, rank these big men peaks 1 through 8. Jokic, Duncan, Shaq, AD, KG, Embiid, Dirk, and Giannis.
Shaq at 1. Shaq at 1. Joker at 2. KG's peak was fucking incredible. Wow. Duncan. Joker. Let's see. Shaq, Joker, Duncan, KG, Embiid, AD, AD does not go ahead of Dirk. No, he doesn't. No, he does not. He doesn't go ahead of Dirk. I'm not sure he goes ahead of Joker though.
Neither does Jokic and Embiid.
Yeah, I'm not sure
if this is a whole segment. I'm running back to 20 minutes.
Right. This isn't something that we could do in like 5 minutes. I got to think about this.
Wow. Shaq's 1. I can.
No, well, I don't think that's. I think that's unanimous. Shaq is at the top of the list. I don't think that's a question. Yeah, we'd have to think. I would have to think about this because Giannis, that 4-year stretch that he had from 18, 19 to 22, or the 21, I mean, he was fantastic.
I can't even remember the names, but I just know Shaq is 1. I could tell you easily Shaq is 1. I don't know who I have lost, but Shaq
we'll come back to that at some point during the summer. Sanjeev, appreciate you for sending that through. Isaiah Davis said, if Kawhi retires, are the Clippers obligated to retire Kawhi's jersey?
They're not obligated to do anything. They're not obligated to. They're not obligated to retire anybody's jersey. No.
In fact, if they did retire Kawhi's jersey, I would question the franchise.
Like, well, how about this for a question, Ox? Whose jersey in the history of the Clippers is retired?
Nobody, right?
Nobody.
Oh, I don't know.
Nobody. That's a fact. Yeah. Nobody's jersey.
I wouldn't. I don't think Kawhi's jersey gets retired.
What has Kawhi Leonard done to have his jersey retired that Blake Griffin didn't do?
Oh well, okay, chill.
He hasn't really done more than Blake for the franchise. He definitely hasn't.
Okay.
Void Century said, would you guys trade Jovic, Hero, Jaime, and 2 first rounds for Laurie and run a lineup of Rozier, Jimmy, Laurie, Bam, and Ware, and can that compete with the Celtics?
You are.
In what world would Utah do that?
That's what I was just about to ask, Mars. Do you know who Danny Ainge
if
is?
you could, would you rob Utah? Like that's what you
Right.
would ask. Like they would
Do
never
you
say
know
yes.
who Danny Ainge is? Are you crazy?
Oh, here you go. Jovic, Tyler Hero, Jaime Jaquez, and the 27th pick in the draft. No.
And the 2 picks.
No.
I wouldn't do that if I was Miami.
Crazy?
I think both teams say no.
Know who Danny Ainge is? Hell no, is he not doing that?
Marcus FRM 626 said, if Ant was as good off ball as he is on ball, man, I think he's already one of the best guards, shot blockers, and rim protectors.
He's working on it. He's only 22. Let's not forget. Ant is still even though he is in what is this year 4 that he just finished.
He's going into year 5, yeah.
Going into year 5. He's only 22 years old, so he's getting better. He is definitely getting better.
I hear that thrown around a lot. People say, "Oh, they're not effective off ball." I want to know what do other people mean when they say that? Like what does a good off ball basketball player do? Can we get enlightened on that?
Was it about offense or defense?
Offense. I want to talk about offense. Defense is pretty self-explanatory in my mind. Defense, off ball defense is pretty self-explanatory.
So as an off ball player, you keep the defense consistently engaged as an off-ball player. You're not just watching the ball, you're consistently watching what he's doing. You consistently paying attention to him as an off-ball player, his ability to screen, not just his ability to screen, his ability to get guys involved in the game without being on the ball, moving without the ball, being in the dunker spot, being on the baseline, being at the long ball line. His attention, you now as a defender, you have his attention more than you have other people's attention. And when you have that kind of guy off the basketball, that makes you pretty dangerous.
Right.
Yeah, and we don't want to do Curry. Someone said just watch Curry. Steph is the exception. Steph, Reggie Miller, Rip Hamilton.
No, those guys aren't the same.
I'm not just going to watch Steph because I know what an off-ball player is supposed to do with the ball. But I think people get caught up in people being able to catch and shoot. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. Like if you're not a good guy to catch and shoot, then you're a bad off-ball player. Or if you're good at catch and shooting, that makes you a good off-ball player. And I think that's just not true. Yeah. Like that's just people. I think we got to get away from that. People don't understand that just because I can catch the ball and shoot it doesn't mean I'm a good off-ball player.
That does not
if you're just standing and watching, if you're letting your man rest on defense, then you're not a good off-ball player. You have to move without the ball, set away from the ball screen, set down screens, constantly be in motion. And being in motion doesn't mean that I necessarily have to, run from here to there, but that also doesn't mean I could just take a couple steps this way and back up. I have to make my man move. I have to shift the defense. You know what I mean?
It's also moving with a purpose, though. You can't just be running around for the sake of running around because then you're clogging up spacing for other people. You have to recognize open space, know how you can capitalize on open space, relocating. One thing that bothers me about Ant is if he drives and he kicks out, if you're paying attention, he'll kick out and instead of relocating to the 3-point line, he'll just walk back out to the top. He'll drive left, he'll kick out to the corner, and he'll watch and he'll just walk back out to the wing. Relocate. Relocation is a big part of off-ball movement. Recognizing space, knowing how to cut, all of those things is off-ball play.
Right, and that's the other thing too. When you, chill. We did a playback a couple months ago. We were watching. Man, it was right before the playoffs, I believe. I can't remember who it was, but we kept watching where they're just not cutting. Like if I dump it down to the big man and I stand there where I was at when I passed it to him, I'm being a detriment. Yeah, an entry pass. If I dump it down to the big man and I just stand there and watch it, I'm being a detriment to him. I either got to relocate from the top of the key, at least relocate to the corner, or cut through. Make my man move. And so, like you said, Morris, moving with a purpose. You can't just go from this spot to this spot. You got to move your man. You got to move the defense.
Malone and Stockton was so good at that. They just were. Where Stockton would throw the ball into Malone, and as Stockton is cutting to the basket, he wouldn't just cut and just walk to the basket. Malone's still looking for him because that defender is going to turn his head, and he gets him literally right at the basket as opposed to just getting out the way. He's letting that defender, he thinks that he's just clearing out. Stock is actually going right to the basket, and he's lowering that defender to sleep. So that's what we're talking about in terms of cutting with a purpose. I'm not just getting out the way and just getting my defender away from you. I'm also now keeping you on your toes too.
Aaron Gordon's
we-
a good off-ball player without being a good shooter. He's
Yes,
an
he
incredible, very good off-ball player.
We got to move on, fellas.
Yep.
Pimp named Slickback said, "Why y'all ignoring the Knicks 5 positions or the Knicks 5 position? Mitchell Robinson averages like 48 games a year. Who's their backup 5? Jericho Sims? Be real, LOL."
Mars has already made it clear Jericho Sims should not be on the floor. He's unplayable.
Yeah, they go get Robert Williams, man. If they both average 40 games a year, just play one half the season, play the other half the season.
Chill, Mars.
I don't feel play.
Robert Williams going down to 5.
I already put that energy in there.
Okay.
I already did. I already put that energy in the air.
Brian Pumper said, "We're not about to talk up the second round exit merchant Knicks beating the Celtics. Tibbs teams do not last, no matter how loaded they are."
No. I think they have enough depth to where Tibbs can rotate. If Tibbs has 8 guys he can trust, he gonna play him. It's just he ain't have 8 guys he could trust last year.
Because they were all banged up, sure.
Drink More Agua said, "Is Randall for sure going to be a starter next year? I think the
Yes.
lineup of Brunson, Dante, Mikal, OG, and Mitchell fits better on both sides of the ball."
Ox, I think he buys in to what you talking about, Ox. Seeing that unit, I think he buys in. I do, because I think this is the closest that he's ever been right now. And that's why I think he buys in.
I think Julius might be one of those type of players where, like how you would say, Chill, if you put him on the bench, you're gonna lose him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think, and I hate that. I disagree with that. Any player like that, I don't want him on my team. But I think Julius Randle is that type of player, and he's kind of stuck. I think he's too far gone to go away from that. So please don't put Julius Randle on the bench. If you're gonna put him on the bench, just trade him.
Jay Got Game said, "Randall gets traded before the deadline. If he doesn't buy into what the Knicks are doing, trade him to a team that's desperate." By the way, Dubs and Knicks fans.
I think that's what he does, though. I think he does buy in to what they're doing. I do.
They need him. Like they
do.
him.
100%, Mars. And they don't just need him on the floor, Mars. They need him to play well.
Yeah, I don't mean just be out there on
let's be clear about that.
They need Julius Randle to play at Julius Randle levels in order for them to have success.
Sure.
Your Highness Charles with the super chat. He said Jaylen Brown and Kyrie both get their shoes produced by Anta, a company that uses Muslim Chinese minority slave labor. They are all hypocrites. Stop it.
That's
all quiet when it comes to their money, but unfortunately for Jaylen Brown, Anta don't sponsor Team USA. So if they did, maybe he'll be on the team.
Right. On top of that, that's just how business works, though. Like if you do something that might be misunderstood, even if you don't mean to disrespect somebody, and it's misunderstood, and these people feel disrespected, and these are my customers, I'm going to not do business with you.
Yeah.
That's how it works. It's capitalism, man.
At its finest, brother.
VKJ said Luka wasn't drafted to a 53-win conference finals team and has 3 All-Stars and 2 elite role players around him. Tatum shot 38% from the field, playing 5 out, laughing my ass off. Come on, man.
But Jayson Tatum's also not as bad of a jump shooter as he was in the postseason.
Right,
like,
he was just missing
I
shots.
always say, like a 19-game sample of any player, you're gonna find erratic percentages. Jayson Tatum isn't. He shot like 28% on jumpers the whole postseason. If you think Jayson Tatum's that bad, then yeah, sure, you don't think he's a top 10 player. But the reason you still think he's a top 10 player is, guess what? You know he doesn't shoot the ball that poorly. He's not that bad of a shooter. So I don't like just using postseason samples. It's like it's all going to be unrealistic.
And I'd like to think that we could find a stretch throughout the season where Luka wasn't really that good as a jump shooter. I'm sure that we could find a stretch throughout the season where
the most famous one we remember the Steph Curry slump where he was shooting like 28% from 3 for like a month.
And we know when that is, Mars, right around January, right? Right around January. It's just on cue. You can just set your watch to it. Right around January, you'll watch Curry going 1 for 4 on the regular for the whole month. So, I mean, we can find stretches where guys have bad shooting nights. We can find that. That's not a big deal.
G with the super chat said AD and Bam defensively is some fairy tale shit.
It was great to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Condrill said, "Good morning. Get Embiid off my team."
He'll be all right, man. He'll be all right.
In the words of Big Ox, he's a bum.
Well, that was actually my next super chat. Big Ox Media said Joel is a bum.
He
He's a
said
bum.
that at the start of the show.
He's a bum.
Hans Walker said, I love Book and Steph together.
I love Book's mid-range game, man.
Money
It's so-
mid-range.
Hell yeah.
It's great.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Tribe One, the Tribe One said USA, USA, USA.
Mars.
Come on, Mars, USA.
Come on, Mars. Get
Lakers got
involved, Mars.
2 all NBA players for real.
Yes, they do.
Sim West 34 said, chill. So you say Greek Freak over Jokic cuts two-way responsibility?
No, but it's definitely more than that. This is why I hate arguing the better basketball player thing. No, because it's definitely more than that. Way more than that. And on top of that, Joker just isn't effective with the basketball. And on top of that, he gives you the effort that you're looking for on defense. He's just not good at it. He will play defense. He's just not very good at it. He will rebound. He is elite at that. So he does those other things. He might not do them as well as Giannis, but he damn sure will give you the effort. That is definitely there.
Sim West 34 also said, look at Femke Bowl, a white girl so much faster.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know who that is.
Sorry.
Shout out Femke Bowl. D9 said, dub panel, dub chat, and put me on the big screen, Ron. Got you, D9. I got you.
Wrong.
Pimp named Slickback said, so he's just going to give KP wide open threes, Ox?
No.
I guess I'll respond like that's just not what I said. I said you when in a matchup zone doesn't mean that I watch you shoot threes. I think that's self-explanatory. I don't got to explain. There's no way.
I don't know, Ox. I think they might be a little bit just no.
No way. He's just messing with me. He's trolling you. It's no way. That's what you heard.
Pimp named Slickback also said, wait, 2013, 2013-14 or 2014-15?
The year he won the league MVP.
I don't think Steph was much better in 15 than he was in 14. I genuinely think he was pretty much the same player. I think 16 is where he went to a different stratosphere. 15 and 14 Steph, I'm near the same, in my opinion.
Mars, you hated when I brought up Tony Parker during that time.
Yes.
When you talked about, you hated, even though Tony Parker was an all-pro. You hated
Tony
that.
Parker was very good. I just think
Yes.
I guess maybe I'm just higher on how good Steph was,
Which he was
in 2014 than
Yeah.
most people. Because people
did
just
they-
think Steph just arrived in 2015. As
Who did they play in the
MVP.
Western Conference Finals that year, Morris, when they won the championship in 15?
Houston.
Was it Houston?
Mhm.
They won in five.
Maybe that was the series where Steph was going ballistic, right?
Ridiculous. Yeah,
See,
ridiculous.
that was the series. It wasn't the finals because the finals, it was that series, the Western Conference Finals. After watching that finals, Mars, I could not believe it. I thought this was the best basketball player I ever saw in my life. I was convinced this is the dude. I was like, Jordan, who? I was like,
he averaged 31 in that series, shooting 51% from the field and 49% from
And
three.
if I'm not mistaken, Mars, if Iguodala wouldn't have got hurt, they would have made quick work. They would have made much quicker work of Houston than they did that year. Way
I
more.
couldn't believe. I could not.
Yeah,
believe
Iguodala
I
ended up getting hurt.
Steph made 27 threes in 5 games.
That was,
So-
stop playing, man. What are we doing? Like, what's going on right now? What's
Shout out to
happening?
Steph,
right
man.
now? That's 5 a game.
He's really good at
But for what it's
basketball.
worth, how I know he's a bum, he missed 6 free throws. Yeah, bum.
That's
Garbage.
bum activity.
Get
That's bum
Steph-
activity.
Yeah,
Get
he a
Steph
bum,
off
he a
the
bum.
floor.
Yo, I was
Yes,
standing
that's
in front of the TV, like doing this, like, bro, what is
5
going
threes in
on?
27 games. That's 5 threes a game. Man, stop playing.
Mega T said, could OKC package those Clippers picks for flag?
I don't think anyone's trade. Whoever gets the number 1 pick, I don't think they're trading it.
Do not
They're
call
getting
me.
fired. They're getting fired.
Hello? Click.
No way you trade that number 1. pick.
No. Mm-mm.
Shit, losing your gig.
War V Room said Celtics are the best teams at offensive relocation.
They do a great job in relocating. Yes, they do. Moving from one spot.
Utah do a good job of it for like an underrated team, like who's
I'm
not
gonna-
the best teams in the league. Utah, their offense is very nice.
I'm gonna do a better job this year, Mars. You had me with the Spurs. I had to watch more Spurs games this season that just passed, even though it was I'm gonna do that next season. with the Jazz. I'm gonna watch more Jazz games.
You'll enjoy it. They might lose a lot, but you'll enjoy it.
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch
having
more
approach.
Jazz games than I did last season. That Spurs thing was just a tough watch that year that you told me. That was a hard watch. But then I had to watch more this year. It didn't help. It didn't hurt that they had Wemby on the crew. So
Definitely makes it.
He made it a lot less difficult to watch them.
For sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been an amazing show. We're about to conclude things. You guys make sure that you like the video before you leave. Salute to all our members, especially our Hall of Fame members. Let me go ahead and give them a shout out. I got my man, who we got? Dorian Clayton, Jerry Allity, Cobra Son of Raditz. I got my man Kendall Daniels. There's one more.
Forgetting a Hall of Fame.
Shout out all of our Hall of Fame members. You guys are the real GOATs. Appreciate y'all. And like the video on the way out. Oh, Open Gym is next. Make sure you pull up the Open Gym and scan that QR code down there.
Yes,
check out some of our merch, and we will catch you guys soon.
Take it out.
Oh, Mikhail.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't forget you, Mikhail. My bad, Mikhail. My bad.
Garbage. Trash Ron. Get Ron off the floor.